But you are getting very defensive about a simple question, Max.
Well, it was like the Eagles just dominated that game, and then immediately like, and so are you worried about the play calling of Kellen Moore and the Philadelphia Eagles?
I'm asking that because they were...
You beat the fucking Bucs when the Bucs just shot on their pants in the fourth quarter. Oh, congrats.
All right, calm down, Max. I'm trying to do a podcast here.
I know, but the Eagles just dominated the game, and your immediate just, what do you think about the play calling?
Not defensive.
On today's Part of My Take Super Wild Card Weekend recap, we're going to recap all 5 games. We had 4 duds and then an absolute thriller in Sunday Night Football. And PFT's Commanders are marching on. We're going to talk maybe a little preview for Monday Night Football because we didn't talk about it on Friday. Who's back of the week? Fastest 2 minutes. Listen, we only got a few of these left, so cherish them. It is a Football Monday, and it's brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. NFL playoffs. We're talking about NFL playoffs. You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the NFL playoffs, and the key to you scoring big is betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Here's another reason to watch your favorite players crush it in the playoffs. New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big during the NFL playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TAKE. That's code TAKE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by DraftKings. Score big during the NFL playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TAKE. That's code TAKE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Today is Monday, January 13th, and it's Super Wild Card Weekend. What? What?
Playoffs.
They're not gonna get them.
What? Some spread.
We start in Houston, where QB just Tin Man Herbert showed no heart and had way more oohs than ahs in this one. It's early January, so the Stroud boys stood back and stood by until CJ found Lord and Xavier Hutchinson for a huge gain off a fumbled snap, and just like that, the Texans were storming the defense. The game broke open when Herbert was picked off by safety Eric Curry, who made Samosa his playing time and didn't stop until he was Indian end zone and proved the Chargers are a non-factor come playoff time. Texans 32, Chargers and the Stinky Cloud 12.
What? We head down to Baltimore, Maryland, where the new-look Ravens defense and Dean Black-Eyed Peas said, "Let's get Lamarded. Let's get Lamarded in here. Hey," as he connected with Rashad of Love with Tequila Bateman, and he was very easy to score with. Brussels Sprouts Wilson had another performance that was very hard to digest, and all the kids at home hated it. But George W. Bush Pickens is Baghdaded again. But the Baltimore offense was committing war crimes with a ground invasion as Derrick Henry Kissinger carpet bombed the Steelers for another Pittsburgh playoff louse. Ravens 28, the Steelers 14.
On to Sunday to Western New York, where the Broncos had Bills saying Troy Vay as Franklin caught the first score of the game to put Denver up early, but they forgot about 17 as quarterback Josh Allen went against D that was generous to him, telling his team, "Let's be in the game," and made the Broncos look like the interns the way he abused them. The game broke open when the offense dropped their Johnson on the table and challenged the Broncos to tie that. Ultimately, the Broncos shouldn't hold their heads down as they'll be doing bow tricks on it for the quarterback of the future. The Bills 31, Broncos 7, and no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. We head over to Philadelphia where Max was on the scene.
We head to Philadelphia where Wake Up Elliott continues to sleep on the season as he missed another extra point and almost cost the Birds another game. Thankfully, King Bond took over the game when Jordan Love was seeing smoke, so he's about to choke. Then we took it for the O. Big play Ray LaMontagne had Philly fans saying, "You are the best thing. You're the best thing that ever happened to me," as he continued the pick parade with one of the best plays of the weekend. Nolan Smith and Weston shot off the line like a bullet all game long as he massacred the Packers on his way to 2 sacks, including one late to seal the game. Eagles 22, Packers 10.
We go down to Tampa, Florida, where backwards hat Dan Quinjamin Button is looking younger the older he gets. Meanwhile, Todd Bowles was mixing up his left and his right like Hank, trying to understand the political spectrum, and Mike 7 Minutes in Heavens took Marshawn Lattimore into the closet and made out like a bandit, cooking the former Saints quarterback in the first half up and down the field in an early score. But Jaden Danelli was not going to be denied with a Band-Aid on his face, covering a gash so deep Mike Tirico tried to grab in a few cocktails. Mi amigo, hola, Mita Zacchaeus holding some nice recepciones, reminding the audience that it is Mex I can, not Mex I cannot. Baker and the Bucs responded with a field goal drive of their own, leading to Insane in the Membrane Gonzalez pulling his hair out as he jogged onto the field, and the goalpost said, "Left hand up," right as the ball bounced off the right pole and in, as the Commanders win 23-20.
And that is fastest 2 minutes for Super Wild Card Weekend, brought to you by our friends at Chevy. The playoffs are here and every game counts. Our AWLs know when it counts. You can count on Chevy Silverado, a dependable partner with strength, capability, and true grit. Whether you're looking for a spacious interior to comfortably get to the game, the functionality of the multi-flex tailgate to get the most out of tailgating, or the technology to make driving, towing, and parking all easier, Chevy Silverado has got your back. Did you know that Chevy is America's most awarded brand for new vehicle quality over the last 3 years, according to J.D. Power? Now is the perfect time to get into a Silverado or Silverado HD, our favorite truck and the official truck of Pardon My Take. Go to Chevy.com to check out all the great offers and even build your own Silverado, and visit jdpower.com/awards for more award details. Okay, Super Wild Card Weekend, at least the first 5 games in the books. We got a lot to talk about, boys. We had some duds, and then we had a thriller on Sunday night and PFT's Commanders. So we're gonna go in chronological order all the way back to Saturday, which is always hard because your brain's like, oh shit, the Texans and Chargers did happen.
Yeah.
So we have Texans 32, Chargers 12. I'd like to put my hand up real quick and say that I want to apologize to the Houston Texans because I was down on them, and I think rightfully so at points in the season. And their offense, rightfully so. That Texans defense, holy shit, did they bring it on Saturday. They were so goddamn good. And not only were they so good, I thought that game was decided by the fact that the Chargers came out like basically a perfect start. The Chargers go down the field, kick a field goal, get the fumble on the very next play. And if the Texans defense doesn't play their balls off to start the game, if they give up a touchdown on the first drive, if they give up a touchdown after the fumble, that game could look totally different. But essentially the Texans defense played so well early that they let CJ Stroud and that offense find a rhythm to a point where they were able to win that game. So like that was just that the Texans defense was just so good.
They were good. All their cornerbacks were good, especially Derek Stingley.
Oh yeah.
Stingley was a problem. Will Anderson was very, very good too.
Yep.
We have slept on the Texans defense.
Yeah, and the offense still kind of stinks.
I think it's been under the assumption that they're not a great team. Like overall, when we've been talking about them, we haven't been talking about them like they're a very good team because they haven't blown out bad teams. They've played in close games all year long. They haven't really shown us flashes on offense, but their defense has been good. And their defense was very good against the Chargers, who they were the team that was supposed to have the suffocating defense going into it. And then if you dominate the first part of the game and you go up 6-0 on 2 field goals, that when we talked about like if you go up, if you kick a field goal to go up 6 points in a game, it feels like the other team always comes down and scores again. It felt like you were losing the game, having only gotten 6 points out of those 2 incredible drives.
Yeah, we were watching it being like, if you're a Chargers fan, you have to feel very uneasy right now because you have had every lucky bounce to start this game and everything's gone your way and you're only up 6-0. And then the game completely switched on the fumbled snap that C.J. Stroud had, scrambles out of the pocket, makes an incredible play, hits a bomb down the field like 34 yards.
That was like that play that Ben Johnson tried to get Jared Goff to run.
Yeah.
Where he said, can you intentionally fumble it? Because it throws the whole defense off. They get off what their normal schedule is and their routine is.
Right.
And then it can open stuff up. This was not intentional. This is a mistake. But it opened everything up downfield, and then all of a sudden, like you're saying, the whole offense looked different.
Right, and that was the end of the half. And if that ends up being a fumble or like C.J. Stroud falls on the ball, the Chargers get the ball back. They can maybe drive. They're up 6-0. They go into halftime. Instead, that like something happened there where it woke up the Texans offense because then they go on they get a touchdown. Then they force a 3-and-out, and they get another 3 points. So now it's 10-6 at halftime in a half where you're like, everything that could have gone wrong for the Texans went wrong, and the Chargers are somehow down. And then the second half was just an absolute, like, that was – I've retired chargering because of Jim Harbaugh and the culture he's built. That was chargering.
Was it chargering?
I mean, the pick six, like, everything just fell apart all at once.
I feel like chargering would be a little bit closer at the end. This was, I think the Chargers ran into an acute case of building their entire offense out of Ladd McConkey.
Yeah, so about that, we have to have a Justin Herbert conversation, but Ladd McConkey was incredible, and the rest of the Chargers offense was not. Ladd McConkey had 197 yards. The other wide receivers had 45, and tight ends. Ladd McConkey had 1 touchdown. When Justin Herbert was throwing to Ladd McConkey, he had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. When he was throwing to anyone else, he had 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He was 60% completion percentage to Ladd, 29% to everyone else, 13 yards per pass to Ladd, 2.6 to everyone else. And Ladd had 8 first downs, and everyone else had 1. Mm-hmm. It was
1?
1.
That's
passing.
Crazy.
They just couldn't do anything that wasn't Ladd McConkey. And honestly, like, I mean, we should talk. Justin Herbert, if that Ladd McConkey touchdown doesn't happen, that stat line is one of the all-time worst stat. It was already a bad stat line,
bad. And also,
but it was like that at least gave him 80 yards and a touchdown.
And was it the pick six that bounced off Will Dissly?
So
that one wasn't on Justin Herbert, but the other ones were.
So he had 4 interceptions. 1 was not his. I think the worst one by far was the first one because it was 6-0 first half. C.J. Stroud throws an interception, and the very next play, Justin Herbert tries to throw across his body across the field. Yeah. And like you just can't. I don't know what he was doing there. And then he had the one where he overthrew Ladd, and then I can't remember what the last. But he was bad. He was really bad, and his offensive line didn't help him. But like Justin Herbert has been in the playoffs twice now. He is he was 14 for 32 with 4 interceptions on Saturday. The other game he was in the playoffs, they blew a 27-0 lead. It's not good.
Yeah.
I still would take him, but it's not good.
Big Cat, this stat, is it a bad stat? Is it a good stat? Or is a bad stat that actually is kind of good if you read it the wrong way?
Okay.
Justin Herbert is now the only player in NFL history to throw more interceptions in a playoff game than he had interceptions during the entire regular season.
Okay. I think that is officially a bad good stat.
I think it's a bad stat that's good if you're a loser.
Yeah. It's a bad stat right now. Actually, it'll be a bad stat. When you look back at the season, if you're like, remember that season you only threw 3 interceptions?
Yeah.
You just hope that the person you're talking to isn't like, but what about the playoff game where he threw 4?
Then what? So they must have won the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. Yeah, right? You just hope that the person doesn't have that locked and loaded because you can get away with being like, Justin Herbert actually only threw 3 interceptions in a season.
Here's the take. 3 interceptions is not enough interceptions. Mm-hmm.
I agree.
That's not enough interceptions.
You got to throw a few.
You have to have more interceptions than that. But yeah, it shines a light on how well he played and how the Chargers' formula during the regular season was play mistake-free football, play tough defense, and then somehow you win the game.
Right.
And in this game, it didn't work out, and he did not play mistake-free football by a long shot. He was, to be fair to Justin Herbert, they hit the fuck out of him a lot.
They hit the fuck out of him, and Greg Roman, I think he only called 16 runs, which, again, that goes back to the Texans' defense. Texans' defense up front, and I mean, Singletary, Kamari Lassiter, like, they all were balling, but, like, that he had no time. They were suffocating. Like, as bad as Justin, I know that the conversation wants to be about Justin Herbert because that's what we do. We talk about quarterbacks. I don't think you could talk about Justin Herbert without it first saying, like, hey, dude, credit to the Texans defense because that was a lot of them. And, like, Justin Herbert played bad, but it was also the Texans defense playing out of this world good.
I think people are frustrated with Justin Herbert because this gets really into, like, the sports media ecosystem.
Correct.
Here, I'm gonna be the Justin Herbert. I'm gonna be the say something bad about Justin Herbert guy. Okay. You guys talk about him like he's won 3 Super Bowls. He hasn't won a playoff game. But you guys, we're supposed to think Justin Herbert is the second coming of Jesus Christ and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But your golden boy hasn't won a playoff game. He just threw 4 interceptions. He sucks.
He sucks.
He played a very bad game. At some point, the expectations, if he is like your entire offense, and if he's supposed to be, you know, a great quarterback that's going to be worthy of a huge extension, you would like for him to play way, way better in the playoffs.
I think he already got his extension.
But to be worthy of that, to be worthy of that money and all the cap that's going to be tied up in him.
I'll say this right now, and this isn't me defending Justin Herbert because he was terrible on Saturday. I will buy all the Justin Herbert stock.
Right now is a great time to buy.
I will buy all of it. If you think that he is just like a terrible quarterback, that's fine. I still think he's pretty good. I would like to see him with maybe some more weapons other than just Lab McConkey. This also is like a perspective game where the Chargers were not supposed to probably be in the playoffs this year given the roster and like the overturn and the rebuild and everything. So it's like it's hard in the moment to say it feels like you're defending Justin Herbert when I'm not trying to defend him. I'm more like they overachieved this year. Like they overachieved. They probably weren't going to be a playoff team if you looked at it going into the season, and they overachieved to get to this point. And they overachieved so much that everyone had them as a favorite, and I thought they were going to win this game. So it's like, you know, I bet on them to win the Super Bowl. Like I was drinking the Kool-Aid. So it's almost like they're a little bit of a victim of their own success in that respect.
Here's how Justin Herbert works for me. When I hear somebody saying this guy, when I hear somebody like sucking his dick, I'm like, let's pump the brakes. He hasn't really done anything.
Right.
When I hear somebody like sharpening their knife and being like, this fucking guy's a bum, I'm like, actually, he's really good.
Yeah. It's basically a microcosm for the world right now.
Yeah.
Like if you live on an extreme where you're like Justin Herbert's actually the best quarterback in the NFL, it's like, dude, no. And then if you say that you'd rather have anyone else besides Justin Herbert, you're like, all right, you're an idiot because Justin Herbert's good.
Yeah,
it's everything in the world right now.
He's very good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say great just yet. And with CJ Stroud, maybe his rookie season kind of fast forward through everything because usually when you get a rookie quarterback who's good, he goes into like a game manager phase.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't turn the ball. Just take care of the ball. You don't have to make these incredible throws downfield. Just be safe and let's move the ball in offense, rely on our defense. But we didn't get that his rookie year. It was like CJ's going to go out there and he's going to be special and they're going to figure out a way to win. And now, watching how they played against the Chargers, that is a formula for these Texans.
Yeah. Is
to play great defense and then just be very, very almost conservative on offense.
Yeah, because I mean, he started the game bad, and you can't turn the ball over, and he had that one interception early. But again, it was the Texans defense allowing CJ Stroud to find his rhythm, where he eventually did find his rhythm, and he actually did a really good job running the ball too.
Yeah,
there was a few times where he made some big plays with his feet, and Texas. I don't want to see, this is what we always do, though, with Wild Card Weekend, is I always sell myself on the team I just watched win a playoff game because I'm like, well, dude, they just won a playoff game. That's really fucking good. That's hard to do. But they're also, and you're like, the Chiefs haven't done anything in these playoffs.
That's true. They
I'm
haven't scored
like,
a point.
Damn, that looks good. The Texans next week.
No interceptions.
They're proven.
Yeah, no points. So if you were to have the Texans playing against the Bills or the Ravens, what would your thought be about that game?
Texans playing, I'd be like, they get killed.
Yeah. The Chiefs are just as good, if not better. Probably better.
They are better.
Than the
statistically, they won more games. They
than the Bills or the Ravens. So just remember that.
I'm happy that we only have one bye now, because this used to be my biggest problem when we had 2 byes, and I would do that for 2 games. I'd be like, well, this team just won a playoff game. But I really did walk away from this game being like, I apologize for sleeping on how good this Texans defense is. And if CJ Stroud, again, can have time to like get in a rhythm in the game and not have to do it all himself, because that game could have been 14-0 in a fucking blink of an eye if that Texans defense doesn't stand up. And it could have been 14-0 with the Chargers having the ball off a CJ Stroud pick. And it would have been like, well, there's just no chance they're coming back. They're in obvious passing downs. Instead, they flipped it. And then Joe Mixon, who they brought in for these type of situations, was incredible in the second. He had 91 yards in the second half. He was the closer.
Yeah.
They basically, like that end of the game when the Texans, it was the blocked extra point where Dicker got absolutely smoked.
Yeah.
But that was a moment where you're like, okay, this is when they're lining up for that extra point. It could have been a 10-point game in the fourth quarter, and they block the extra point. They get that 2 point. But then the Texans are like, no, we'll just run Joe Mixon down your throat, and you won't get the ball back.
Yeah, that's the game manager formula.
Yeah,
strong running game, good defense. Don't make a mistake. The blocked extra point that was returned. You have to at some point. The special teams coach needs to go over that scenario with the kicker, right? Like if the kick is blocked behind the line of scrimmage, and it comes to you, it's not. You didn't just throw a forward pass. You're not like Peyton Manning, who's disgusted and just does the most unathletic bat down of all time. You got to catch that thing.
Well, it was doubly bad for Dicker because I think part of him batting it down was like, I don't want to get jacked up.
Yeah.
And he batted it down and still got jacked up.
Yeah, he took a shot to the chin.
Just catch it and just get jacked up.
Right in the chin.
What were you going to say, Hank?
The Nickelodeon broadcast.
Oh, yeah, I was going to get to that. I wrote that. I have a fun stat for Texans fans. Since 2002, when the Texans were founded as a franchise, they have more playoff wins than the Dallas Cowboys.
That is very fun.
They have 6, and the Dallas Cowboys have 4.
That's very fun.
That's got to really piss off Jerry Jones.
The Texans are 6-2 in the Houston Texans time slot.
Yeah, I was wrong about that. People were mad at me.
What do you mean?
I said
that they always lose?
Yeah. They always lose. No, they do. And they're actually in the time slot again next week.
They are,
against the Chiefs.
As is tradition.
The also Joe Mixon, one last thing about Joe Mixon, he was smoking on that Rex Ryan pack after the game in the locker room, which is very funny because he I guess Rex Ryan said that it was basically a bye for the Chargers.
Yeah.
So he was having fun with that. Rex Ryan,
he's giving bulletin board material to teams. He's not a coach.
Can I just say that Rex Ryan, like, just chill out, dude. The way he's like everything he's doing now is coming across as desperate. Like memes. Do you not agree? He on Countdown this morning, I tuned in for a minute and they were talking about the Vrabel hire and he's like, hopefully I get a chance to kick his ass twice a year. Like he's just begging for the job.
Yeah, and I think there's like 0% chance of that.
Yeah, so it's even more pathetic.
This is like Crazy Rex's girlfriend.
Yeah.
He's being very, very emotional. And it's like, okay, Rex, you're coming on a little bit too strong, buddy.
Yeah, just chill out. Just calm down a little bit. Let the process happen.
He needs to go coach high school or something.
Well, it's just it's a very funny like thought to have where I don't know what he's thinking. Like, hey, if I say these things on Countdown, maybe Brick Johnson is watching, and he's like, "Oh shit, we didn't think about Rex Ryan."
He might actually be thinking, if I go viral enough, Brick will see this.
Yeah, like if enough people tweet about Rex Ryan being the Jets head coach, maybe.
And he might not be wrong.
I guess Providence Twitter did tweet enough about Ed Cooley leaving Georgetown that he had to answer questions about it, so it could happen. But yeah, the Nickelodeon broadcast.
Before that, also, I was going to say Joe Mixon said this team reminds him of the Bengals team a few years ago. I think it was same record, same spot, young quarterback, beat the Chiefs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the Texans would be live in the game. I still think the Chiefs are a more well-balanced team.
I would agree with that.
And also you're giving Andy Reid, 25 days to prepare?
Yeah.
I guess it's only a week to, he did some scouting on both teams, but I'm sure they'll have a way to figure out this Texans defense.
Now, does this continue the stat that we brought up earlier this season that every team that has played both the Harbaugh brothers went 1-1 against the Harbaugh brothers? Because
Maybe
they
the
got
Texans did, yeah.
They got beat by the Ravens.
Yeah.
And then won against the Chargers. I think that's every coach that has played against each Harbaugh brother.
Yeah. Although I guess technically Antonio Pierce went 1-2 against the Harbaugh brothers.
That's true.
Because he lost to both Jim, but that still counts.
Yeah.
They got a win and a loss.
One and
minimum.
one.
Yeah.
1-1 minimum.
Yeah, 1-1 minimum. I like that.
Yeah.
The Nickelodeon broadcast. We had no idea that we were going to make it. We made it. Big catfish and PF manatee. Mm-hmm. It was literally the Leo meme. Mm-hmm. We were sitting in the gambling cave and we had the Nickelodeon broadcast up, and we were just like, "Wait, what the fuck? That's us."
It happens from time to time when they're doing the game time commercial.
Yeah.
Where I'll like hear my voice from the other side of the room and be like, what was that? But this one, we had absolutely no idea it was going to happen. We look up at it, and then next up is LeBron James and Kevin, what was it?
Kev Finn Hart.
Kev Finn Hart. Yeah.
We were bigger than them.
And then whoever Ice Spice was. She was next.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my kids watch it. They didn't fully understand it, but they were like, "That's kind of cool." I was like, "That's me." They're like, "Well, that's a fish." I'm like, "Well, no, but that's me." But yeah, thank you, Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
and then they used our the SpongeBob quote from our interview with Jim Harbaugh in 2018.
Yeah.
As like, here's some. Yeah, wait, can you play it? This is. I think it was Adam Schefter's daughter introduced us.
Yep.
Ice Fish Spice.
If they introduce us as podcasters, shouldn't we have been whales?
I look tired as big catfish.
They give you butthole eyes.
Yeah, I'm not looking good.
It was also funny that they made PFT a manatee, but also still way smaller.
Also smaller, yeah.
Catfish.
Yeah, that was tough.
And then we also had our guy Jim Harbaugh get captured by the stinky cloud, and then that was 32-6 was the score after Jim Harbaugh got captured by the stinky cloud.
Is that a real stat?
That's a real stat.
Is he still in the cloud?
He might be.
It's a dirty bubble.
Oh, dirty bubble.
Dirty bubble.
Sorry.
What's the dirty bubble?
SpongeBob fans will get mad at you.
Yeah, well, stinky cloud's the acting that got screwed up in my head. Dirty bubble. The dirty bubble captured Jim Harbaugh.
What is the dirty bubble?
Does anyone have an explanation?
He's just a bubble that's dirty and he's evil.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so it's pretty literal.
Okay. That seems like it's not fair that they captured him in that.
I agree.
Like you're only taking out one coach?
I said it when it came up on the screen. It showed him with like dirty shit all over him.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
You can't do that to one coach.
Did Harbaugh win the MVP?
MVP?
No, they gave it to the winning team.
Wow. Yeah.
We did stuff the ballot.
So this year they had a little disclaimer on the votes for MVP saying for entertainment purposes only.
Look at that.
As opposed to other years where it's definitely not supposed to be entertaining, but they made it seem like they would just give it to whoever they wanted. I would like to think that if the Chargers won, Harbaugh would have gotten the MVP.
I would agree. I think we did enough voting. But yeah, the dirty bubble, we're going to have to bring that up to him next time.
Yeah.
Because he'll be like, wait, seriously?
I don't like that.
He'll be upset about it. Yeah, look at that. The dirty bubble captured him. You can't
SpongeBob
do that
rigged
during a playoff game. I do love the Nickelodeon broadcast, though.
It was cool having it up there. They really went all out with the slime this year.
Do you guys have any problem with DJ Shark tweeting a picture of him being like, now that long 3.5 months, back to weed?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was just he was just holding a dog walker, little tiny joint. He was like, nice.
I have a problem with it. I don't think it's cool.
What do you mean?
Like if you're really a big fan of weed, you probably wouldn't like post a picture of that. He's probably just being like, "Hey guys, I smoke weed."
Yeah,
like trying to make it seem like he's a cool guy who smokes.
But maybe
like real leaf heads know.
Yeah.
That if you really felt that way, you wouldn't need to post about it. You would just go spark up a doob.
So he might be being like, So he captured it. Shout out my word I can't say, bud. Been a long 3.5 months. So maybe he's just letting everyone know, like, you can smoke me out again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm back.
Yeah, like I'm free to join the circle.
Yeah. I got no problem with it.
No, like from a standpoint of admitting that you smoke weed, I would never do such a thing because I'm not a drug guy. But for him, no problem with being like, I can't wait to smoke weed again. I just question posting it on social media. Like,
yeah.
Why?
he is kind of admitting too that he hadn't been smoking for 3.5 months, so that's kind of cool.
There you go. Good for him.
Good job. Job, DJ Shark. So, I mean, the Chargers season overall, success, even though, by the way, what do we think Justin Herbert's pregame speech was? It must have been terrible, right?
No cameras. We'll never know.
No cameras. Ben Herbert, who is by far the best person to keep cameras away. The report was that Justin Herbert has had his pregame speech taped the last, 3 weeks or something, and then this week for the playoff game, he had Ben Herbert make sure there were no cameras near him. That had to be a stinky. Maybe it was the dirty cloud.
It was a dirty cloud just came out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what he said to him. I like the move though, just being like, no cameras, please.
Yeah. I did see a funny meme that said that the draft. What draft was Herbert? 2020, 2019?
2020.
They called it the if draft because it's if Tua could stay healthy, if Justin Herbert had weapons, and if the Bengals could make it into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's all the if guys, just hypotheticals everywhere.
Yeah, I can see that. I still think that the Chargers, they're on the upswing.
Yeah,
they were in the downswing last year.
We're gonna get to the Broncos, but there were certain teams going into this. I think the thing that hurts more for the Chargers is they were favored in this game, and I thought they were gonna win. I think a lot of people thought they were gonna win. So that hurts a little bit more that you went into a game that you thought was winnable, and you just completely fell on your face. But you need some weapons. Quentin Johnson had 0 catches, right?
They'll get some weapons. I don't think he had a catch.
Yeah. So
no Josh Palmer was a big one for him too.
Yeah.
Because he does stretch the field a little bit. They also didn't count on Arian Foster.
Yeah.
Arian with a great. I hope they taped his pregame speech.
Was scared of the cannons.
Yeah.
Did you see that clip?
Yeah, I saw that.
It's very funny.
I saw that.
Those cannons are fucking they will scare you. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was was it just the air cannons before?
Yeah, I think it's just
intros,
gunpowder.
Yeah.
If you can handle Big T on a weekly basis, you should be able to handle a cannon.
I'd agree. So, do we think that the Texans? You think the Texans really have a chance?
I do.
You love the Texans.
Yeah, I'm going to take a money line.
But just don't trick yourself into they won a playoff game. That's what you're saying to yourself.
And the Bengals thing.
The Bengals thing got in your head?
Joe Mixon, young quarterback, wild card team. I just hate the Chiefs, too. I don't want the Chiefs. Any other team but the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I'm fine with. And literally any other team.
And your
does not matter who.
Your hatred of the Chiefs comes from a place of being a Patriots fan, where you want to keep them as far away from the dynasty that you had as possible.
Yeah, and I just don't. It's not. They're just not. Yeah, that's exactly
that's
what it is.
it.
That's all.
You could say I want something new, but that's what it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have one last sad Chargers stat from StatHole. In the final 31 minutes of their last 2 playoff games, so the final 31 minutes of their last playoff game, final 31 minutes of Saturday, they've been outscored 63-9.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's really bad. Mm-hmm. That's really, really bad.
That's not good.
That's when you're supposed to win the playoff games.
That's
Charger half.
That's what that is.
Yeah, it's just they were just overwhelmed by the Texans defense, and Hank, the Chiefs are really good.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yes, they won 15 games.
But it could have been 10.
But it also could have been 16 if they had played their starters.
Rest versus rust.
Okay.
Rest versus rust. Okay,
Hey,
I don't have any counter to that.
I do like that there's somebody that's brave enough to go out there and be like, the Chiefs aren't very good. I appreciate that about you,
The
Hank.
Chiefs could lose this game. They're not.
I agree with that.
They're not as good as their record says they are.
But they could be better.
But their
No.
record is exactly what says how good they are.
Wait,
No, I know.
are you saying they're not as good as their record says they are? They actually should be better?
No, I'm saying if you stacked them up against the other teams that had similar records over the course of history, they would be the worst one.
But you also have to remember that Week 18 game was Carson Wentz. So
That's what I'm saying.
So they gave that one up.
It could be 16.
Yeah.
Could be 16-1.
Yeah, but they get the extra game, so it doesn't really matter. In
Okay.
terms of 15 wins.
They went 15-1 in your head.
Yeah.
In your record book.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a curse of 15-win teams.
Well,
it goes all the way back to the 1985 Bears. The 85 Bears were the last team, I think, to win 15 games
and
to
then
win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because it was the 99 Vikings
That sounds right, yeah.
when they lost in the NFC Championship game.
And I mean exactly 15 wins. I think there was a year where there might have been
No, this year there were two teams.
This year there were two.
with
There might have been
15.
another one.
Yeah. There hasn't been a ton.
Let's see. 15 win teams in NFL history.
I know the Vikings. The Steelers lost Big Ben's rookie season, if I'm correct.
Correct. 2000.
Yes.
So 1998 Vikings lost in the NFC Championship game.
Yep.
2004 Steelers lost in the AFC Championship. 2011 Packers lost in the NFC Divisional. 2015 Panthers lost the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So it has been
15 win teams
it's
are
been
bad.
40 years.
15 win teams are bad.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'm with you now, Hank. You've swung me. That was some deep analytics. You've got me.
That's right.
Yeah, really
that's
good
right.
teams are sometimes don't win the Super Bowl.
Happens almost every year.
Could have shortened it to that.
Yeah. All right. Saturday night. Ravens 28, Steelers 14. This was just an ass kicking. This was an absolute ass kicking. This was a Lamar masterclass. This was a Derrick Henry masterclass. The Ravens said fuck you to the Steelers. They did fuck you football for 4 quarters. I know that the Steelers did score twice, but they had 299 rushing yards. And the first half, the game was over. It felt over after the Steelers punted on their first possession, and the Ravens got it on, I think, the 5-yard line and went 13 plays, 95 yards and a touchdown. That was like, oh no, there's a problem. But it was really over on the next time the Ravens scored a touchdown when they went 13 plays, 85 yards. Every single one of those plays was a run. Mm-hmm. Scored a touchdown, and then they scored at the end of the first half, and it was just like, this is as bad as it gets. The Ravens are they're just so fucking good.
Yeah.
And Lamar's so good. That Lamar touchdown at the end of the first half where he just bought himself like 18 seconds of time and found Justice Hill.
Yeah, all cool, calm, and collected back there as everybody was trying to TJ Watt, he hasn't been playing that well in the last 2 months. And if you're going to beat the Ravens, you have to have TJ he has to have 2 takeaways on his own.
Yeah.
He has to have a punch, and then he's got to get a strip sack that he recovers. And TJ has, I think in the last month, he might not have had a tackle.
I think I saw the stat. It was 127 snaps, no tackles, no pressures.
Here we go.
Tackles
last
for loss.
127 snaps of his 2024 season, 0 tackles, 0 assists, 0 sacks. And what they had him doing on defense was whenever they would run the read option, he would always tackle the ball carrier.
Crash, yeah.
The running back.
Yeah.
And that was his job. And it left these huge gaps to the side, which somebody should fill if you're drawing up this defense. But there were some times where they just didn't fill that gap. And so Lamar just kept it and waltzed.
Yeah.
And it was like nobody within 5 yards of him for most of his run until the very end. And it was a very confusing defensive scheme.
Derrick Henry's Lightning McQueen. That's what Lamar said afterwards.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, he was he looked like Lightning McQueen when he had that 50-yard touchdown.
I'm telling you, Derrick Henry with the short hair, that is championship mentality. To take a growth of braids that you've been working on for how long? 10 years?
Yeah.
And be like, you know what? Fuck it. Chop it off.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good mindset to have.
Yeah, and the Ravens are just like a complete team, full everything. Their defense. We talked about it with Orlovsky on Friday. That their pass defense has been completely changed when Kyle Hamilton moved back, and their offense is just. Zay Flowers didn't play in this game.
They didn't need him.
Lamar was still perfect, and he killed him with his legs early. Whenever he had to pass, he would find someone. It was just a good reminder that in the AFC, there are the haves and the have-nots in these playoffs, and the Ravens are the haves. This team is a Super Bowl championship level team, and they do have to play possibly 2 other teams that are in that level, which is unfortunate, but they're just so good and so complete.
Them and the Bills would have to beat 3 Super Bowl championship teams.
Yeah.
In the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
It would be the hardest Super Bowl road ever for either one of those teams.
Unless the Texans. But then the Texans would technically be a Super Bowl level team if they beat the Chiefs.
Because they beat the Chiefs.
But
if that happens, then we will go back and retroactively act like we said what Hank was saying all along.
Yes.
And the Chiefs were the worst 15-win team of all time.
Lamar also has the most career rushing yards in the playoffs by a QB. And he's only played, I think, 7 playoff games. That's just
pretty
how
crazy.
good he is with his feet. And again, it's not like he was killing him with his feet. He was also killing him with his arm. He was just playing a complete game.
You have to say, if you look at the Ravens, they are as close to a complete team as you can get. with the exception maybe their kicking game.
Yeah.
Would you say that they're so good?
Didn't have
right now?
to kick.
They're so good right now that Justin Tucker might be their biggest weakness.
Yeah, and they didn't have to kick.
That's a good spot to be in.
Yeah. So we should talk about the Steelers. Mike Tomlin, the Steelers. The Steelers are now 8-year playoff win drought. Sorry, that is the longest. That's actually double the previous longest in Steelers history since they kind of became the Steelers in 1972 when they were, starting to win Super Bowls and stuff. The longest they had gone without a playoff win was 4 years previously. They are Mike Tomlin is now. So he started his first 4 years in Pittsburgh. He was 5-2 in the playoffs. He's 3-9 since. And in the 8-year drought, he's 0-6 in the playoffs, and they've given up 230 points. So Mike Tomlin, bad. He's a great coach. I do think that it probably is time to move on to something different.
You think move on from Mike Tomlin? The Steelers aren't going to do it though.
Okay, so I've thought about this, and I was reading articles and stuff last night because I couldn't sleep, and I was just like, because I want to understand, because from the outside, we've had this conversation. From the outside, the low of the Steelers season is getting to the playoffs, which almost every other fan base or a lot of fan bases would be like, fuck, sign me up. Like Mike Tomlin never had a losing season. That's what people say. There is a point, though, where it feels like the message is getting lost and there isn't growth. And you can point to the fact that they haven't had an answer at quarterback probably since, the last 3 years of Ben, Kenny, Russ. Like, they haven't had a great quarterback. So they haven't been playing at the offensive level you need to play at to win playoff games. And I'd agree with that. But also, they invest everything in their defense. And here's the 6-game losing streak for the Steelers. You ready for this? This is a crazy stat. Before the Steelers scored their first offensive touchdown in these 6 games that Mike Tomlin has lost in a row, the Patriots are up 10-0. The Jaguars were up 21-0. The Browns were up 28-0. The Chiefs were up 35-7. Shout out your TJ Watt bet. The Bills were up 21-0. The Ravens were up 21-0. So as much as you want to say offense, their defense has also failed them in the playoffs, and their defense has every single year basically like regressed as the season's gone along. And I don't like I think I side with the Steelers fans. Like, he's done a great job. You're not saying he's a bad coach, but sometimes the message gets lost and you have to change something. You have to shake something up, because it's actually almost like a curse to have Mike Tomlin as your coach still, because you're never bad enough to pick at the top of the draft to get a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
And then you invest in defense, and you can't really win. Like, you can't win in today's NFL without an offense.
I think that also their defense, by the time they get to the playoffs with these like just crazy boring substandard offenses, by the time they get there, their defense is sick of having to carry the team. Their defense is exhausted from somehow scrapping together a playoff team. Like getting enough wins to get in, that by the time you get there and you have to play against another really good team, then they're just too gassed. They're too tired from having to do it week in and week out.
And you can't. So the other part about Mike Tomlin is you can't say, well, the offense stinks because we don't have a quarterback. We don't have this. We don't have that. Mike Tomlin has ultimate power in Pittsburgh. He signs off on every single draft pick. He signs off on every coaching hire. The other thing I found, the rabbit hole, I didn't realize this was an argument that goes in Steelers community, which I kind of feel like is a fair argument. Mike Tomlin basically has no coaching tree. And you'd say, well, what the fuck does that matter? That, like, who cares about a coaching tree? But it does kind of say that he's hiring older coaches that maybe aren't, like, he hasn't been cultivating like young, innovative guys that are doing things differently, like a Ben Johnson or, like a Sean McVay or Mike McDaniel, or like some of these guys, Kyle Shanahan's coach tree, like some of these guys who are just spitting out young innovators of the game. Mike Tomlin has not done that essentially for his entire, like, I looked at it. Bruce Arians is kind of the only one you could throw out there, and he already was on staff under Bill Cowher. So it's like, I think there's his way is an old school way that I think might be outdated and is hurting the Steelers, and they have to figure out a way to move on from it.
He does love old guys.
He loves old guys.
Dick LeBeau was his defensive coordinator for, it felt like, decades.
Right. So that's part of the like, he hasn't.
But he also goes out and he gets old. He imports old guys. So like Danny Smith, their special teams coach, that's always chewing on gum on the sidelines. Brought him in.
Todd Haley after he got fired by the Chiefs.
Arthur Smith.
Yeah, like
great coach.
Great coach. But like he gets guys, and it's not like Todd Haley didn't go and he didn't go to Pittsburgh and then go off and be like I think he's coaching high school football now. I know he went to Cleveland for a stop. Matt Canada, like where is he? I don't even know.
Some different country.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's like a hard one to figure out because again, you don't want to. Mike Tomlin will get a job right away somewhere else.
You know what really happened though? If you look at the stats, the defense has been very, very good for the Steelers in the playoffs until a certain event happened. And then their playoff defense was permanently broken.
What was that?
That event was the 2017 playoffs.
Yeah.
Blake Bortles hung 45 on them.
Yeah.
They lost 45-42.
Which it wasn't that close.
That
was a lot of garbage time.
It was a lot of yeah. It was a backdoor 42.
Yep.
Is what they got. So they gave up 45 points in the previous playoff. They gave up 12 points, 16 points, and then the New England Patriots in 2016 put 36 on them. That's forgivable.
Yeah.
But their defense was still legit at that point. Then 45 points. Then in 2020 they gave up 48. Then 42. Then 31, and now 28. This was actually the least amount of points that the Steelers have given up in a playoff game since 2016.
Yeah. Their last playoff win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blake Bortles broke them.
Blake Bortles broke them.
I just I again, I don't know why I thought about it for so long last night, but you see this sometimes where a coach will get fired and it's not because he's like bad. It's because the message and like you're kind of going in the same direction over and over. You know what I mean? Like you're just not progressing forward and you're kind of stuck in this rut. And that's what the Steelers feel like right now. It's not saying, oh, well, Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. And if he got fired tomorrow, he would have a job the next day. I don't disagree with either of those statements, but it's just not working anymore. And what's the fix? Like, are they going to re-sign Russ? I don't think so.
I don't know.
He did not look good.
He did not. No, he had that nice deep ball to Georgie. Besides that, not a lot. Justin Fields, I don't think he's the long-term answer either.
Right. We can do Aaron Rodgers, which is another one-year fix, like Band-Aid.
Coach Gruden was saying he would take Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones would be intriguing just because his point was like if you look at all the other players that the Giants have gotten rid of or not brought back, they all go somewhere else and play very well.
And he spent so much time in such a great room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in a great room.
Kevin
right
O'Connell.
I've talked about that room.
Yeah.
So
room of the year.
What would you and obviously Mike Tomlin's not going to get fired and he also is not going to get traded because he has a no trade clause.
Yeah.
So if he wanted to get like he would never allow himself to get traded because he could just be like, why would I go somewhere and give up draft capital? Why wouldn't I just quit and then just go pick my next job?
Okay, so I think I have an idea for what they could do. How much does it cost to trade for the franchise tag? Is it 2 first-rounders?
I believe so.
That's almost the perfect situation if you're the Steelers because you're always picking in the mid to late teens.
Right.
So you're never going to be in a position where you can draft a quarterback with Mike Tomlin.
Right.
Where, a lot of teams, if they are in the midst of what they feel like is a rut, they're usually one of the worst teams in the league. So that's not an option for the Steelers. 2 18 overall picks or 17 overall picks for Sam Darnold, I think I might do that if the Vikings tag him.
Oh. Yeah, but then Sam Darnold's not with Kevin O'Connell anymore.
Do you have a better idea?
I don't.
I don't.
The
best one I can come up with is if he gets tagged, trade for Sam Darnold. I think Arthur Smith can get something good out of Sam.
I do too. I honestly think they'll fix and Mike Tomlin's coming back, so this is all kind of it's going to be a hot topic, but I think Schefter even reported like his job's not in jeopardy. Like the Steelers should figure out a way to move on and suck for a year or two. You know what I mean? Like they're in this no man's land where they're just good enough to make the playoffs and they're not going to get a franchise quarterback and they're just going to keep spinning the wheels right now. Like they weren't close in this game.
No.
And like that was, and you could make the case for the Chargers or the Broncos. Like they have young quarterbacks. They're building something. They're on the ascent here. Like they're going to maybe hopefully get to that top level of the AFC. The Steelers are not on the ascent. They're in the same spot they've been every year.
Mm-hmm. Well, you say they don't show any signs of growth. George Pickens would disagree with you.
Yeah.
He said he's seen signs of growth from the offense, and then the reporter asked him, does that make you optimistic going forward? And he said, nah. That's good. It's good to acknowledge that growth is not always good.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay to not grow.
Yeah. Also, I saw a stat. The Steelers' last lead was December 8th. So last 5 games, they didn't have a single lead in a game.
Over a month?
Yeah. 5 games played, not a single lead.
Yeah, that's hard.
I just don't. Do you think Russ is what's going to happen to Russ?
He's probably going to show up to the facility and give everybody a pep talk.
Yeah. That was funny last night when he was doing a pep talk and Jerry was just like, yeah, that guy doesn't even play.
Yeah.
But he's done, right?
I think so. I don't know why you would pay Russ Wilson what Russell Wilson thinks he should be paid.
Right. Maybe you pay him and you're like, maybe you pay him $1 million and you're like, for every pass you complete over the middle of the field, we'll give you another $1 million.
Yeah.
It's like, so you could earn up to $5 million this year.
Yeah, incentives for just not talking to people at practice.
Yeah. You got to get creative.
There's no good solution for him. And again, it feels kind of weird to feel bad for a franchise or feel bad for fans of a franchise that are perennially in the playoffs.
They have 6 Super Bowls.
It's 6 Super Bowls. But I understand the frustration.
Right.
I get it.
I totally get it. You are just stuck in absolute purgatory, which is kind of hard to do in the NFL. Like that, it happens in the NBA. It can happen in other sports. It's hard. Like in the NFL, you're kind of either good or bad. They're just right in the middle.
And also, Steelers fans kind of saw this coming in late September.
Oh yeah,
like you knew exactly how the rest of the season was going to play out.
Yeah, yeah, and it had just enough intrigue this year where you had like a 4-2 starter in Justin Fields. You'd be like, what is he doing? And then you ripped off all those wins, and then you haven't led since December 8th.
We did give a lot of credit to Mike Tomlin for making that change.
Yeah,
which took some balls.
He's a very good coach.
Yeah.
I just don't think that it's working anymore in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh doesn't fire coaches, and I think he just signed an extension last year, so they're not going to fire him. But yeah, I thought about it a lot because I feel like Steelers fans, this is going to be the talk in Pittsburgh, so I wanted to give at least a little hat tip to like discussing what everyone's going to be talking about in Pittsburgh. But yeah, the Ravens are they're on a different level. Yeah, they play that game 100 times, the Ravens win 100 times.
Ravens are insane. They can do anything they want on offense.
Yeah.
Even without Zay Flowers.
Yeah. And I'm so excited for that matchup next week.
I'm very excited too, but I've never been more confused about a game. Like how it's going to shake out. I have no idea.
Yeah, we were talking about just not even betting the game, just rooting for football.
Yeah, just enjoying it.
It's going to be enjoyable.
I think I'll probably end up betting for touchdown scores on each team.
Yeah. Just having fun, having a good time, watching a game.
I'm going to bet on the boys.
Yeah. Also, the Ravens only had 3 penalties, which that's significant because it looks like they can play buttoned up. Is Zay Flowers going to come back for this game?
I don't know. I read a report last week saying that if he doesn't play this game, he should be back in time for the next round. But I don't know. I don't think they really know either.
Okay. All right. Let's take a.
How pumped is Stavi right now?
Oh yeah. I mean, this is the Ravens, like, this is going to be the Bills, Chiefs, and Ravens. All 3 of those teams have Super Bowl contending teams, and only one of them is going to make it out.
Whoever wins that game has to beat the Texans.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Well, they'll have a home playoff. If
somehow the Chiefs can win that.
If the Chiefs can pull an upset on the Texans, then I guess you have to beat the Chiefs. Yeah.
But they have to.
They have to. Okay, let's take a break, and then we'll get to Sunday's games. Okay, before we get to Sunday's games, we're brought to you by our friends at Apple. The mind-bending office thriller Severance returns to Apple TV Plus for a new season on January 17th, created by Ben Stiller and Dan Erickson. The all-star cast is back with some exciting new additions. Severance focuses on the employees of Lumen Industries, which uses a procedure called severance, surgically dividing their memories between their work and personal lives. Coming off the explosive season 1 finale, Mark, played by Adam Scott, dives deeper into the mysteries of what Lumen is up to. Do they know what really happened to his wife, Gemma? The new season of the hit show promises to be bigger and crazier with even more exciting twists than the first. Stream the new season of Severance January 17th exclusively on Apple TV+. We're also brought to you by a new sponsor. Very excited about this one. Doritos, after announcing the return of the legendary Crash the Super Bowl contest, Doritos has unveiled its top 25 semifinalists, aka the boldest creators, who are now a step closer to the chance of seeing their ad air during the Super Bowl and winning $1 million during its 10-year run from 2006 to 2016. Fans who entered the Doritos Crash the Super Bowl campaign created some of the most memorable and talked about Super Bowl ads of all time. After receiving thousands of submissions, it's now time for the people to sound off. You can view the top fan-made submission at DoritosCrash.com. And starting tomorrow, January 14th, vote for who you think has a winning ad. I love Doritos. I've always loved Doritos. They're my favorite snack in the world. I'm so happy that Doritos has come on as a sponsor of this show. So again, you can view the top fan-made submissions at DoritosCrash.com. And starting tomorrow, January 14th, vote for who you think has the winning ad and go eat some Doritos. Cool Ranch, the GOAT Dorito. Go right now, eat some Doritos, and go to DoritosCrash.com. Okay, Sunday. Bills 31, Broncos 7. Broncos up 7-0 in this game.
First rookie-to-rookie touchdown pass in postseason history.
Yeah, that was a crazy stat.
I didn't believe it at first. Bo Nix, Troy Franklin.
Yeah. Teammates at Oregon.
Wild.
Oh, by the way, we didn't mention the Chargers and Texans was a scoregami.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Playoff scoregami.
Jake.
How rare is that?
I usually care a lot about scoregamis. That's my bad. Mm-hmm. That's my bad.
Very cool.
Bills 31, Broncos 7. The Broncos, for the first 5 minutes, you're like, watch out. And then we were reminded that the Bills are the Bills, and they're just better.
Mm-hmm. And I think we need to start respecting Khalil Shakir a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because
I love him.
He is a top-tier wide receiver. He doesn't get talked about like he is because his name wasn't Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
And he didn't have the media attention all around him. But he can play.
Yeah.
Whether he's returning a kick, out of the slot, on the outside, he's a problem for defenses.
Yeah. He's very, very good. And this game was like the Broncos defense played pretty well in the first half because they held them out of the end zone. I mean, I think they scored one touchdown, but they stayed like tough in the red zone. And then the second half started, and Josh Allen was like, "Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna run the ball down your throat, and then if I ever need to make an incredible throw, I'll just do that.
I can do it because I've done it."
That throw to Ty Johnson was so insane.
Yeah, he was just running around, scrambling. Didn't look like anything was going to be open. Throws to the back of the end zone, and he catches it with like his knee on the ground before his feet hit. It was insane, but you expect that type of stuff out of Josh.
The one to Dalton Kincaid.
Also, going into halftime, the Broncos were kicking a field goal to tie the game.
Yeah.
That's wild when you think about the second half and how lopsided it was to think back to that moment. Like it was a 38-yarder?
Yeah.
Something like that?
No, it was a little longer than that,
Was
I
it?
believe. Yeah.
So,
he
but that
doinked
kick,
it.
it was
Yeah.
it was a very makeable kick.
It was.
And it was a very loud doink that he let out. And
Yeah.
if he had made that kick 10-10 into halftime, second half probably turns out the same way. But just kind of weird to think that they played him to a tie at halftime.
It was a 50-yarder.
10-10 and he's
Okay.
out of bounds on that 4th and 1. Like,
It's a game.
it would have been a completely different game, I
Yep.
feel like.
But
50-yarder's a lot long. You know what it was? He hit it up so high on the upright. That's just kickers, man.
Here's what I didn't understand about this game. So, first of all, the Bills' offensive line is just monsters because they just ran it down the Broncos' throat.
Mm-hmm.
Like over and over. James Cook, I think he had 70, 80 yards in the first half. What I didn't understand about this game is I feel like Sean Payton started the game the correct way, being like, hey, we're over a touchdown underdogs in Buffalo. Like Josh Allen, if he's on, he's going to score. They're going to score every single time. We got to steal possessions. We got to play aggressive. And like you saw it with the Bo Nix touchdown deep shot. You saw it with the fake punt, which was a great call, perfect call. And then the second half started, and the Bills scored a touchdown, I believe, to start the second half. And then the Broncos went run, pass, punt. And then the Bills scored another touchdown, and they went run, pass, punt. Like they just they kind of got a little conservative. They didn't let Bo Nix just rip it.
It was a little Kirk
Signetti-like, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was weird. I thought they were going to really embrace the role of underdog and be like, we have to do some crazy shit to have a chance in this game, because like the Broncos are not as good as the Bills. If you play them straight up, the Bills will win. I thought Sean Payton was doing that in the second half. I felt like he just abandoned that.
Yeah, they only had 2 sacks for the Broncos. If they were going to have a chance at this game, they were going to have to take Josh down way more than that. And, the offensive line for the Bills, at one point, our friend Rudy, who is, I don't know if is he a Denver native?
Yeah.
He is Colorado.
Yeah.
He is as Colorado as it gets. He was just like...
National champion.
Yeah, he was like, the Bills, their offensive line is just so heavy.
Yeah.
And he was right.
They were mauling
They just leaned on him. Dawkins was just bowling people over. At one point, Dawkins picked up James Cook and dragged him for a first down on his own.
I think he also put one of the defenders, the Broncos defenders, out for the game by just hitting him hard enough.
Yeah, hit him hard in the shoulder, right? Yeah, knocked him out.
Looked like he separated his shoulder.
The Bills also look like a very complete team.
Yes, very much so. I mean, their defense is still a question mark, but they answered the question mark, at least against the Broncos.
And they finally threw the ball downfield to Curtis Samuel.
Yeah. Curtis Samuel had a 55-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did it all. They played much like the Ravens. This was like a tune-up game for the Bills versus Ravens, because it was, even though it felt close in the first half, that second half was just an absolute demolition, and it was never close in the second half.
The thing I'll say nice about the Broncos, obviously this is free money. This game was
oh yeah, I got some nice things to say about the Broncos.
Great season for the Broncos.
Yeah.
You're very happy if you're a Broncos fan. You probably would have liked to make this more competitive or win the game, obviously, but you're happy. This is a good season for you. I think they have the most dead cap in NFL history.
$85 million.
So that's Russ Wilson.
Yep.
That's a contract that you correctly decided to cut your losses and move on from. And with Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton together, if you're putting together like an NBA Jam team where you can only have 2 guys out there on offense,
yeah,
that's one of the better combos.
That's
in the
a
NFL
fun
right
one
now, because Cortland Sutton is really, really good, and Bo Nix, obviously, he's going to be a great quarterback. Although I saw something in one of the pregame shows where they were talking about Sean Payton's offense and how complicated it is to learn for a quarterback. And some of his play calls are they take 7 or 8 seconds to say out loud. That's got to suck if you're a quarterback in that system.
Yeah.
How much time do you have to spend just memorizing and paying attention?
But Bo Nix is professional. He's got his book back.
That's true.
He's ready to go. Sean Payton's halftime speech or halftime interview was where I was like, oh, this game is over, because he came out and was like, we gotta control the ball more. We gotta just control the ball. It's like, no, you got to score points.
That's kind of the vibe of them. It's like, we're going to try to run the football.
Right.
We're going to put forth our best foot and try to run the football, but they just weren't able to.
Also, credit to the Bills for the report came out before the game that they deliberately were putting Von Miller on a snap count in the regular season so they'd be fresh for the playoffs. That showed
full circle.
Yeah, that showed full circle.
Yeah,
we went to full circle. No, but the Broncos, obviously you're upset if you're a Broncos fan, but in a weird way, this loss, it's not a good loss because you lost the playoffs, but you got your asses kicked, and it's like you're the second youngest roster in the NFL. You had $85 million in dead cap. Similar to the Chargers, you did not think you were going to be a playoff team this year. And the Bills, there's levels to this. The Bills are on a different level as a football team. You're trying to get to that level. You got your rookie quarterback a start in the playoffs. Everything in this Broncos season was a win outside of today. But long term, this was a great season that you'll hopefully look back on and be like, that was the start of something special. You have a ton of young guys played all year. You got the dead cap money's going to get fixed, and you got your quarterback. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Great season.
Great season.
I'd say is this an A plus season?
I'd say it's A.
Should we grade seasons? I think it's an A. I think it's an A season.
I think it's an A season.
I would say an A minus season for the Chargers.
I would agree because you were favorites and you lost that game.
Yep.
Also, I don't want to be the uniform police, but I hated the Broncos uniforms.
Yeah, go with the classics.
Just go It drives me insane. The Broncos have some of the nicest uniforms in the entire NFL. They have uniforms that they can put out there that are make you feel nostalgic about life.
Yeah.
Go with those. Go with the all whites and the blue helmet.
Yeah, I don't like the orange pants.
The orange pants just looks ridiculous.
And we say you don't want to be uniform police. Yes, you do.
Yeah, I do.
want to be.
Well, I saw the uniforms like they got no chance.
I'm like the guy that buys that light at the hardware store and puts it in my car so I can pretend I'm a cop. Like,
Yeah.
I do want to be the uniform police.
And I've said this before, like when I went on my rant about the Packers, whatever Snow White uniforms, the princess uniforms, I hold teams with history to a different standard. So it's almost a compliment. Like I think the Broncos have a incredible franchise history and have incredible uniforms in their bag. I hold you to a different standard. I want you to bring to the playoffs. I want you to bring the best uniform.
yeah, like if the Jaguars were in the playoffs.
Don't care.
Wear whatever goofy shit you want to wear.
The Rams and Chargers can wear whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Because I know that they have like a million different. Even the Seahawks, like they do weird uniforms. Who cares?
Yeah, it's fine.
The Broncos, like that's John Elway. There's classic playoff games that you can look up the footage to. That's what I want to see when I watch the Broncos in the playoffs.
Maybe Sean Payton went with these uniforms because he knew he was going to lose, and he didn't want to add. He didn't want to sully the legacy of the great Denver uniforms with a loss.
That's a great point.
Right? So he was protecting the brand.
So when the Broncos bring out their classic uniforms, we know that they have a real team.
Yes, that's how you know.
Yeah.
So we always think, oh, I feel like they always win in these uniforms. Well, it's because their coach knows that they're better when they wear them.
Yeah. So yeah, Max just pulled up. I think it's the '91 AFC Championship game. And the Broncos are wearing the all whites with the blue helmets. Those are awesome.
I also like these Bills throwbacks with the red helmet.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
shout out that one guy in Bills Mafia that was in the end zone. Sport coat, big belly hanging over, giant twisted tea in his hand, and the buffalo wing necklace and the top hat. That was just like Bills Mafia distilled down to one human being. Yeah.
King Bills Mafia. Hank, what'd you think about this game?
Don.
I know you talked yourself into the Broncos.
The Broncos, like you said, the fake punt worked, but they didn't make anything out of it. They missed the field goal to tie it up at halftime. If they, got some points there, tied it up at halftime, and then that 4th and 1, like there was a great play by Josh, but it was, inches away from being incomplete.
Yeah.
Like as much as it was a blowout, like the Broncos were also they were live in that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were just getting run on though.
Like I still don't think they would have won, but like I think
a couple plays could have made it closer.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. I just think the Bills are just, again, there's 3 teams in the AFC that are on a different level. It's the Bills, the Ravens, and the Texans. Mm-hmm. Those 3 teams, those 3 teams are just playing at a different level come January.
Yep.
Everyone else is just hoping to win a playoff game.
I can't wait for the Bills-Ravens game.
I'm so happy it's the last game too. On I feel like that Sunday that Sunday late spot divisional round is always. I feel like that's always the big game.
this is when it's like officially playoffs. Like that's a game you'll think about all week.
Yeah.
Every day this week.
Yes.
And you know what?
Like,
I said it when
when is Bills Ravens starting?
when the Bills went up 28-7, I was like, this is why we watch sports, for the Bills Ravens. This is why we put in the hours. This is why we lift the weights. This is why you like are maybe from the outside world looked at as somewhat pathetic. Like the people who were trashing Tate and Titus and saying they weren't men because they were celebrating Ohio State and Jack Sawyer.
Yeah, instead of watching sports, you should be out there participating in mutual combat.
Yeah. That guy, he doesn't have Bills Ravens in his life.
He doesn't. And you know what? This is a game.
Can you read the
That's
this
sad.
was crazy because like it was a pretty normal like gambling cave clip. I felt
It was very funny. Yeah, let me read it. I think I bookmarked a couple of them because there was a couple.
This is a game that you're going to have to be prepared for. You're going to have to be ready as a fan. Even if you're not a fan specifically of the Ravens or the Bills, you got to bring your A game to watch this game.
Yeah. All right. So there was one person who said there was two of them.
It was Tate and Titus after the Jack Sawyer like fumble recovery touchdown. They were just celebrating and like dry humping the air, which
Yeah. Scroll
is
up.
pretty standard.
Yeah. So this person. I mean,
Gambling
these
cave
guys are
reaction stuff.
I assume these guys are just like Andrew Tate, like adjacent. He said it is utterly embarrassing how men have become bystanders of fake combat instead of active martial participants. It is a very funny clip because Tate is just dry humping a football.
Who is this guy? Arthur Quan Lee?
Yeah, and then there was another guy, Z Rebirth 369 said, gayest shit I've ever seen. Whole country is dying and they only feel passion when watching men touch each other.
Yeah, good point.
What? Wait, guys can't watch sports anymore?
They're not.
What the fuck?
They're kind of boys touching each other.
Like, what the hell? Wait, since when was it? When is it wrong to watch sports with your boys?
It's not.
And guess what? Those two guys, they think we're losers. You don't have Bills-Ravens to look forward to. And I'm banning both of those guys from watching Bills-Ravens.
And I would also like to know when they thought that the country was great, because there's always been sports.
Yeah. Bread and circus.
Always been sports.
Since the Romans,
and you know what?
They did sports.
It's a hell of a circus.
Yeah. It's a great circus.
I love the circus.
And guess what? The circus makes us forget all our problems.
And this is going to be.
It works.
It's going to be such a circus coming to town this weekend.
We literally do bread and circus in this office every single Sunday, where they just throw food at us and we watch sports and we forget all the world's problems.
Yeah, oh, wait.
And it's the best existence. And I think a lot of people listening right now do the same thing every Sunday.
Entertainment and carbs,
Yeah.
bad?
Oh, no. But then you won't be thinking about how bad everything is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point. That's literally the point.
Yeah. How about instead of worrying about whether or not a guy's going to cross an imaginary line on a field, you focus on real issues like immigration?
Yeah. Hey, you guys watched 3 hours of a football game? Well, I thought long and hard about Ukraine.
Yeah.
Who had a better Sunday? Me. I did.
I had a great weekend.
Yeah. I had a lot better of a Sunday. Okay, anything else for Bills Broncos? Broncos get better uniforms.
DeMar should not have celebrated the interception. He knew that he didn't pick it off.
I don't know if he did, because he looked shocked when they overturned it.
Yeah.
He had that face where he was like, what?
That's true. I always wonder that when they go to like a replay and it's a bang play where a guy traps the ball off the ground a little bit. In the moment, if you're diving on the ground, do you know that you didn't catch it?
Look at his face. He did not. He thought he caught it.
Yeah.
He also, that's a total non-story if it's anyone but DeMar.
Correct.
Like DeMar gets clowned.
I got a
because
question
DeMar.
for you about DeMar.
Which is crazy.
When did DeMar become like a joke because he died?
I don't know.
Because it was a pretty incredible story what happened to him.
Correct, but it happened in the last maybe year.
No, I mean people were doing the clone shit right away.
But that was different.
But some people actually thought it was a clone.
Yeah, Billy. That was different. That was like, there's fucked up shit they're not telling us. Now it's like people. It feels like there's some people that are actively rooting.
They hate DeMar.
Against DeMar,
Yeah.
just because he almost died on a football field.
Yeah, they hate him.
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
It is very
I've
strange.
noticed the same thing.
Do you think it was a fake punt?
It might have been the fake punt.
That fake punt was.
It might have been the fake
That
punt.
was a funny, because it felt like they were doing the fake punt
to
put the spotlight on. Like,
Yeah.
thank you for coming back, DeMar.
And not only take the whole fact that he almost died on a football field. He was a fringe player, special teams player that has worked his way into the starting rotation. That should be applauded.
And I think his whole mission is to put defibrillators in schools.
Really
and
good mission.
Everywhere.
If you have
That's pretty
kids,
good.
you should be a pro DeMar guy.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something, Max? You don't like DeMar?
No, I just wanted to show
don't?
you. I like DeMar.
Oh, okay. You like DeMar.
I just wanted to show the ref Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah. So did you hear afterwards? So there was a red zone trip where the Bills, there was definitely a hold that they missed, and Josh Allen yelled at the refs. So there was a clip coming out of the commercial where, was it Bill Vinovich, went up to Josh Allen, went to the sideline to talk to him, and obviously everyone's like, I cannot believe the ref is apologizing to Josh Allen. Josh Allen, after the game, said that's not what was happening. The ref came up to him to tell him, hey, stop yelling at us. We miss calls. Mm-hmm. If you keep yelling at us, it's not going to fix anything.
I think it was the mutual hand touching and then the pat on the head.
Yeah.
It was they gave each other a side hug.
So the conversation was not, hey, I'm sorry, Josh, we'll get you on the next one. It was, hey, Josh, could you stop being an asshole to us, I guess. So that totally changes it.
Did the imagine if Patrick Mahomes did this, the media would go nuts? Did that become a big thing? Yeah.
I think that was driven, by a lot of, I do like, it becomes a real rivalry, when the Chiefs and the Bills, imagine the outrage on the Sabbath, they showed a ref touching Patrick Mahomes the way they did just now with Josh Allen. That's when and I know the Bills haven't beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs, so you rivalry, I put in quotes here, but Chiefs fans hate Bills fans.
Yeah.
And Bills fans hate Chiefs fans because they're going to use this clip to fight a turf war between Josh Allen and, which they should.
You know what? This is ammunition for that war. This is ammunition for the picture of Patrick Mahomes kissing the ref on the lips, which I'm still not sure if that's real or not.
No, that's real.
It looks very real.
Yeah.
So whenever that gets posted, now they have instant comeback.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, look at this.
And this is realer,
yeah, this actually happened.
some would say.
Yeah. Good job producing, Max. We forgot to mention that. People would
That
have
was
been mad.
memes. That was memes.
Oh, memes. Memes, take a victory lap. What do you want to say?
I would like to thank myself.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Memes is one of the turf war guys. You were pissed that the ref was going up to him.
Oh, as a Jets fan?
Yeah. Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you
Sure,
were.
yeah, you were saying-
Yeah, you were mad.
You were saying to show the Josh Allen thing,
Yeah.
not knowing that Big Cat was going to say, oh, Josh said that the ref was saying stop yelling at me or you're gonna get penalized.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. Chiefs fans were getting mad at me because I tweeted out the ref apologizes to Josh Allen, hashtag some things. And they were saying very mean things.
I thought you were on the side of the Chiefs fans there. Oh, fuck. We forgot to mention the Boltman, which I think it's a fake
It's a fake Bolt, man. It's like DeMar. It's a clone.
That's the worst. That was partially why the Chargers lost.
Yeah, that looks like.
Oh, you maxed Boltman?
Yeah, and then somebody took it and it went viral.
Oh, I love it.
This fake Boltman looks like Drill.
Yeah.
That's not Boltman.
No, it's not. I think the original Boltman sold his Boltman
For like $50K.
Yeah, because he was so sick that they left San Diego. All right. Eagles 22, Packers 10. Maxey. Ugly game.
Rust. Quarterback had some rust that he had to work out. Defense was phenomenal.
Defense was very good. Jordan Love stinks.
Yep. A lot of pressure from that D line. Made the quarterback look not so great. Defense was really, really good. Both lines were really, really good. Saquon was really, really good. Some things to work on for next week, but you'll take that win 10 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Are you concerned with the play calling?
I'm concerned with a win.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I was just asking if you. It sounds like you're a little touchy about that question.
Yeah, that was a little touchy.
Like a normal answer to that would be no. I thought Kellen Moore did a great job.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried.
Your answer tells me that you might be a little bit worried.
You got very defensive there.
Well, I mean, it was Eagles won 22-10. I don't think it was a one-score game at any point.
I'm not.
Up until the. And
Listen,
then it's like,
I think
you think the play calling
It was
bad?
definitely a one-score game.
I think the Eagles
It was
played.
100%
I think
a
they're
one-score
a
game.
very, very, very good team. I think they could win the Super
A
Bowl.
one-score
definitely.
game with the Packers having
But
the ball.
you are getting very defensive about a simple question, Max.
Well, it was like the Eagles just dominated that game, and then immediately like, and so are you worried about the play calling of Kellen Moore and the Philadelphia Eagles?
I'm asking that because they
beat the fucking Bucs when the Bucs just shit on their pants in the fourth quarter. Congrats.
All right, calm down, Max. I'm trying to do a podcast here.
I know, but
Get
the
into the
Eagles
games.
just dominated the game, and your immediate just. What do you think about the play calling?
Not defensive.
I'll tell you what, Max. I'm going to defend you here.
We talked
I
about
don't
the
think
play
you have
calling
any.
in the previous 3 games.
I don't think you have any problem with the play calling, judging by this reaction.
No problem with the play calling. That's my answer.
That sounded exactly like a guy who has no issues with the play calling. He just went straight to the Commanders. No, I mean, you guys, you dominated that game. It got like there was a little bit of a Chargers vibe in the first half where everything went perfect and you were only up 10, especially with like the fumble on the opening kickoff and a touchdown 4 plays later, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be easy. And then you struggled. The offense did struggle for the first half. Jalen Hurts looked like he was still concussed a little bit, but they made some big plays in the second half, and it was never a doubt. You're right. The Packers never had the ball down 1 possession.
Yeah, no, there was never like, oh shit, this is a drive where we could give up the lead, and it's always a little bit more comfortable watching a game that way.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with the way that it turned out. There's one, if I'm being honest, there's one thing that I'm concerned about, and that's the kicker.
Yeah.
The kicker is a big issue.
Yeah.
Hank has a question.
No, continue if you. What's your
I would like. I'm more interested in what you have to say.
loser
'Cause I think
talk
I'm gonna
question
hate
of the show? Because
you just said they never had the ball down one possession. You said it was nice to watch, kind of easy game. You tweeted in the middle of the game, "We're gonna lose this game."
Oh,
But yeah,
That's good.
Yep,
good
that's fair.
producing.
That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah. That's investigative journalism by Henry Lockwood there.
We've all-
Loser talk.
correct. But inside the lines, I'm not accountable for what I say.
Okay, that's
All
fair.
the great ones say that.
You just can't. You
Yeah,
can't.
no.
Why did you think that?
Because I am an anxious. I think the world's
You're a
full.
loser.
We won.
But that was you.
What made you say that?
Yeah.
I think it was Jake Elliott. I think it was probably after the missed extra point because that's like such a thing that happens. Like you miss an extra point and it comes back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
The injuries, not great today.
Nakobe Dean. That's
bad.
That's the only injury, but it's really bad.
Is Slay totally good? They
Slay
fixed
came
his
back
arm?
in the game.
Yeah, I know he came back in.
I mean, I assume if he came back in the game, that he'll be playing next week.
Okay.
Yeah. In terms of Packers playoff losses, this one didn't scratch the itch as much because, like, one, I didn't think they were that good because they lost to the Bears, who are not good. So I was like, well, they're not very good. And then two, every Packers player got injured. So and I'm not saying like, it's an excuse that I actually believe. Like, I don't know if the Packers would have ever won that game, but like they had a moment where their top three wide receivers weren't playing anymore,
Yeah.
and their best offensive linemen. So it's like I kind of got robbed
And then-
of that feeling of like, haha,
Yeah.
because it was like, yeah, your whole team just got injured.
Yeah, and then when they were driving with the ball, I think they threw a pass to their fifth string wide receiver who just didn't put his feet in bounds.
Right.
And
yeah,
so-
that was kind of the moment where I was like, I really want to be enjoying this, but it's like they don't have literally anyone left.
Yeah, like if that was Romeo Dobbs that did that, or if
Yeah.
it was Christian Watson that did that, you could be like, haha, losers.
Right.
But now it's like this is kind of what you expect.
Or if the Packers were healthy and they like just barely lost, they're like, wow, we could have gone on a run. Like I think Packers fans probably were watching that game, watching everyone get hurt. They're like, if we have to play next week against the Lions, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Like that, they just were ripped apart with injuries. I do think Jordan Love is like, for everyone's like, oh, he's the next in line. Like I don't see it. He's good. He's not.
His picks were pretty bad today.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't. I know he's still young. So he's like 32 or something. But and I know it's only his second year, but it's not like he had a really awesome 8-game stretch last year. Got paid $55 million. He was okay this year. Threw a lot of interceptions. He had a good stretch at the end of the season as well. But I don't think he's like some. Do you guys agree? Like, do you think he's like gonna? Right now, would you say Jordan Love's going to be like a top 3, top 5 quarterback? Because that's what Rodgers and Favre.
Yeah. Here's what I would say is on the broadcast when they're talking about the passing of the torch, and they say first it was Favre, then it went to Rodgers, now it's on Love. I don't think that one of those three is like the other, or one of those,
Right.
Yeah, like the
It's
other.
the dragon meme.
Exactly. But I think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah, and he could get better, and this could all look really stupid by me, but it's not. So far, I'm not like, holy shit, this guy's insane.
I think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback.
Yeah,
he's a
which
good
is-
quarterback. But
that's-
he's following 2 Hall of Famers.
And that's a great thing to have.
Yeah. And also, as much as I want to relish in the Packers' losses, which I am very happy that you beat them, Max, because again, it was a little different this year because I think I said it 2 weeks ago where I was like, I don't think they're a problem anymore. Like I just did. They didn't beat any really good teams this year. They lost twice to the Vikings. They lost twice to the Lions.
Pretty much lost twice to the Bears.
Pretty much lost twice to the Bears. They were always like they were just not in that. If we're going levels again, they were never in that upper level of the NFC. But they are, and it hurts me to say, they are the youngest roster in the NFL. And I do think like knowing how the Packers run as an organization, they'll probably be really fucking good next year.
And you've got a great head coach. Matt LaFleur is
Yeah.
an awesome head coach.
Yeah,
And Josh Jacobs, great running back. I love watching
that was
that guy
a big
play.
boy run.
Love watching. There were a couple big boy runs in this game.
Dallas Goedert.
That one, at one point, Josh Jacobs dragged a defender, I think like 5 yards on
Yeah.
the ground, who was grabbing on the back of his shirt, which somehow didn't rip. It just stretched for like 5 yards.
Yeah.
That's a dude.
Yeah. I want to be happier, but the injuries and the fact that the Packers are so young, like the end of Rodgers was fun because it was like he's getting older and older and older and the window's closing.
Mm-hmm.
I know how the Packers run their organization. I'm sure they're fucking gonna nail their draft picks and all their receivers are gonna end up being awesome and come back and it's just gonna be like fuck.
Yeah.
And everything I just said about Jordan Love is going to be wrong.
Are they going to start drafting wide receivers in the first round like all the time now for Jordan Love?
That'd be very funny.
It would be.
But yeah,
just make him happy.
I've seen some like weird, like Matt LaFleur's should be fired. Like that's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
I actually think that Jordan Love, if you didn't have Matt LaFleur, would probably be struggling more.
Yeah. Imagine Malik Willis without Matt LaFleur.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Max, another question for you. AJ
Brown.
Brown, different color. Reading a book on the sidelines. What book was it, and why was he reading it?
It was a motivational book. I will pull it up. I will pull up his tweet because he addressed it via X, the Everything app. Everything happens on X.
He is the media.
He is the media. I am struggling to find his Twitter. What the fuck? He has some. Oh, there it is. Wait, no, this isn't it.
Okay, find it. Yeah, inner excellence, achieve extraordinary business success through mental toughness. And he says he reads it. What are you looking for? His quote?
Yeah.
About it?
He tweeted about it. Why can't I find it?
Way farther into a book than LeBron ever has been. That's a fact, right?
I'm enjoying Max.
Why can't I find his fucking Twitter?
This is bad. Memes, do you want to help him?
1K always open.
Yeah, I know.
Memes and Hanker.
This is a fake one, though.
I'm also enjoying it.
It's a good thing that you're struggling this much because, like, if...
Would you like me to read it for you?
Did you find it?
I'd be worried if you weren't struggling this bad. I'd be like, man, this guy might be worried about play calling.
Yeah, it's a good point.
But it's clear
But
that you're not worried about play calling because you're not flustered at all through this whole Packers-Eagles recap.
Got it.
Okay, all right. You gonna read it?
Ready?
Yeah.
This game is 90% mental and 10% physical for me. I bring it to every game and I read it between each drive. I use it to refocus and lock in despite what may transpire in the game, good or bad. People tend to create controversy when they don't know the truth.
I have a question. When he said good or bad, which one do you think it was today?
Good. They won the game.
But do you think AJ Brown was having a good time today?
Yeah, they won. They won a playoff game.
Okay. You think he was having a good time with the play calling?
Yeah, no. He looks happy in this post game interview. I don't know what he's saying, but he looks happy. He doesn't look mad. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, it was good.
So 3 targets for AJ Brown, 1 catch, 10 yards,
1 win.
Okay.
Do you think it's always this book?
It says that it's this book.
Or is it so he's been reading.
This book. That doesn't look like a LeBron book.
That's a well-worn book.
Yeah, we need a book report from you on this.
He also has highlighted passages, underlined passages. He really loves this book.
But I'm just wondering if he had 100 yards and a touchdown and Kellen Moore was just calling a great game and all that stuff. Do you think he goes to the book?
Yeah, no.
Or do you think he like high fives and like
he probably goes to therapy and like
That's not what I asked.
I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. I was reading the quotes.
All right, I'll ask the question again. And then maybe you can read the quote for us. If AJ Brown had 100 yards and a touchdown and 9 catches, do you think he's reading the book or do you think he's like having fun on the sideline?
Well, I don't know if you heard what I said. He said transpire in the game, good or bad.
Right, but he might have just put the word good in there and really meant bad.
No, see, you're calling him a liar?
No, I'm just saying he might have.
He also may not have.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Everything's on the table right now when we're discussing this book.
Correct.
I have a question, Max.
You have the
I'm going to take the man for his word.
Okay.
What's up, pit stain guy over there?
Do you think the game is 9? Max never having pit stains. Come on, Max.
Yeah, that was a bad.
Come on, Max.
I mean, your ass crack is probably showing right now.
Yeah.
Not pit stains.
Do you think 90% mental, 10% physical is a good breakdown?
For him, yes.
That laugh means his ass.
He said 4. My ass is
his ass is out for sure. Means just watching it. Yeah.
I got a chair.
I'm not sure that the whole physical put together in this thing is the battle you want to pick with anybody, Max, because your butt gets a lot of screen time.
You can't even see it. I got to back to this chair.
Would you like in a game like this where he is limited? How many catches did he have?
He had 1 catch, 3 targets.
Would you rather he maybe cranks it up to 15% physical?
We won the game.
10%.
We won the game.
Did win the game. So looking ahead, besides your issues with the play calling, what do you need to fix going into next week?
Jalen Hurts will be less rusty, so just like getting more reps in practice this week will be good.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
We'll have 1 extra day of practice that our opponent will not have. That'll be helpful.
What if they're like Jalen Hurts was so bad they're just gonna put him back in the protocol? Just double
He wasn't
check.
that bad. 111,
he wasn't good.
111 quarterback rating. You would die for that.
Okay,
in a playoff game.
Yeah, but he wasn't like
Threw 2 touchdowns.
Okay,
won the game when we needed to ice the game. He led a great drive that finished with a Dallas Goedert touchdown.
Okay.
All right, so Max, who do you want? Vikings or the Rams?
Good question.
That is a good question.
Call someone out.
That is, if I had to choose, you know what? You got to beat good teams.
No,
to win.
don't cop it out.
No, but that's what if I were to answer that question, that's what you would say.
Just tell us which team you want.
You can lead with that.
Yeah, you can lead with that. You'll play whoever wins,
but gun to my head.
Yeah,
but gun to my head. If you had to tell me that I had to pick a team, I would pick the Rams.
Really?
We handled the Rams in that first game. Their defense could not stop the run. Saquon went for like 250.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And the Rams' offense has looked bad. I don't know how they're going to be tonight.
And they would have to travel from L.A. to Philly in the cold.
Well, actually, they travel Arizona to L.A. to Philly.
True.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think the Rams are going to win tomorrow, but
okay.
I think that given my thought process, I would say that I would like. I don't know where I'm going.
I think
I'm just saying words.
PFT.
He's happy with the play call.
Who knew that a simple question of "Are you happy with the play calling?" would just lead us to whatever's happened in the last 15 minutes.
No, it was condescending.
It was a question.
It's
my job as a member of the media to ask those tough questions, Max.
It's so clear you're upset about the play calling. Just say it.
I'm happy with a win, and you can learn. You can go back, look at the tape, and learn from things. Everything is a learning experience, and we will learn from this and be better for next week.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Well, thank you for beating the Packers.
And Jalen Hurts will be less rusty.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you for beating the Packers.
Does
Packers
Jalen Hurts call
0-2.
the plays?
No.
Those are 2 separate things.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
What would you grade the Packers season? I would say a B.
No way. Way worse than that. People were picking them for the Super Bowl.
They were.
Oh, Schrager.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to the Schrager streak.
Yeah.
They kind of got dealt a bad hand though with the injuries.
Yeah, but Malik Willis won games.
I guess okay. So if you're looking at it like just straight up grade as a whole, the outcome of the season, definitely worse than a B. I'm saying
it's
B given what they were dealing with today. I'd say overall
it's probably a B because they are the youngest roster.
C plus.
They're the youngest roster in the NFL. It's like, what would you grade it under like a regular, if you laid it all out and you didn't say this is the Green Bay Packers? I think Packers fans are different because they're used to winning playoff games and that kind of thing. So they grade it differently. But if you laid out all the facts, took the logo off the helmet, you'd probably say B.
Say B minus, C plus.
They're gonna fucking be good next year. I just know it. They're just they always just draft someone who's just like, how'd this guy get good? And it's just like, and Jaden Reed's gonna be the best receiver somehow. Christian Watson, I think, is ACL, but I just know it. And Josh Jacobs is good,
very good,
really, really good. But Jordan Love's not good.
I think he's good.
Go to bed thinking that. No, he's not. Max, you back me up.
He was that pick to Zach Bond was horrific. It was I don't know,
egregious.
How do you just not see the guy right in the middle of your vision?
Yeah,
I don't know.
He just threw it right to him.
When he doesn't run RPOs and play actions, he's not like as a straight up pocket passer. I haven't been overly impressed.
Also, shout out to Philly for having the sax guy playing the national anthem.
Oh my God, Vanya Sachs.
Vanya Sachs. Vanya Sachs. That guy can get it.
That was incredible.
Not in a That sounds sexual.
No, I mean that's fine. The saxophone is the most sexual instrument by far.
And they just let Gilly like come out with the team.
Yeah.
Like those videos are so funny.
And the bald eagle. Oh, what a scene. Yeah, Max is replaying it. That was a really bad interception. You can't throw that one. All right. Did you guys didn't score off that though?
Wait, no, we did.
Is it at the end of the second quarter? Because his halftime was 10.
Oh yeah.
Why didn't you score? Was it the play calling?
No. It was just
It's unrelated to the play calls.
It was just a bad. It was just a
Playmaking.
bad.
What were the
play?
play calls after that?
It was incomplete, penalty.
Oh, yeah, it was a penalty.
You can't have penalties.
But first down, incomplete.
Yeah.
Second down, incomplete.
Well, it looks like the penalty came on 4th and 4, so that actually didn't matter.
Yeah.
No penalty.
And you remember how good like the push the offensive line was getting for the running game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, the Elton Jenkins going out for the Packers again. That's like they robbed me of everything because they just got it. The guy who came in, how many holds did he end up having? It was just every drive.
anything.
He was just getting killed. Okay, PFT, you want to do a couple more ads and we'll get to the big game, Sunday Night Football, and your win.
Before we get to the nightcap, let's talk about the elephant in the room, erectile dysfunction. 1 in 4 men 18 years and older experience ED, which means that you or someone close to you might be experiencing it. That's why I want to tell you about this new ED treatment gel. It's called Eroxon. It's the first of its kind ED treatment gel with clinically proven results that you can get over the counter. Eroxon is a topical treatment gel, which means that it doesn't enter your bloodstream, makes it safe for both you and your partner. To maximize intimacy, you can use it with your partner during foreplay leading up to sex, and it's clinically proven to work within 10 minutes. It's important to try on a few separate occasions to get on the hang of how to use it. While it may or may not work for everyone, studies showed success in over 60% of men. If you desire deeper connections and better outcomes, Eroxon is the answer. See if it's right for you, and you can get it over the counter. Eroxon is available in stores and online. Visit eroxon.us, that's EROXON.us, to learn more. Part of My Take is sponsored by BetterHelp. Every January brings you 365 blank pages waiting to be filled. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist. Maybe there's a part of your story that you've been wanting to revise. Life isn't about resolutions that fade by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own life. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters, create the meaningful story that you deserve to live. I've dealt with therapy in the past. It's helped me get through times of loss in my life. It's helped me clarify what's important to me. Therapy is a very useful tool, and one that I think a lot of people could use out there. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/PMT today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PMT.
Okay, PFT.
Yep.
Commanders 23, Bucs 20. What a fucking game.
A crazy game. This is every Commanders game is like this. Every single one comes down to the end.
I was going to actually ask you this. Mm-hmm. We talk a lot about the Chiefs' voodoo.
Yeah.
The Commanders have the most voodoo, and it's a good thing. They just have, like, I don't want to say Team of Destiny, but watching that game, especially, and we'll break down the whole game, but, like, when the Bucs kicked a field goal to tie it 20-20, and there was 4.5 minutes left. And this is part voodoo and part the fact that Jaden Daniels is just fucking awesome. I turned to Jersey Jerry, who was sitting next to me. I said, Bucs aren't getting the ball back.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
That's what we do. We had a 17-play drive in the first or second quarter.
Yeah.
We didn't punt again today.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to fourth down, we either get fourth downs or we go for it and we don't convert them. And then we find ourselves like 1 minute later back in that same exact fourth down situation. And there's something about coaches named Dan that are just like, fuck it, we're going to go for it. If it's Dan Quinn, if it's Dan Campbell, Dan Lanning did that this year too, where you just get ultra aggressive. But I didn't have a problem, even when it didn't work out, that Dan Quinn kept going for it, because that's what we've done all year.
And we've said it a million times with the Dan Campbell stuff, consistency.
Yeah.
If he had pussied out and kicked a field goal on the second one, you'd been like, dude, you can't go for it, and then kick it. keep going for it, and something good will happen.
Yeah, you go for it. You don't get it. You pin them deep, and then if you get a turnover, you're at least deep in their territory.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like they pushed everything to the limit of how close they could make this game. And there's something about Jaden. He does not show emotion. Sometimes he smiles during play.
Yeah, I was going to say, his only emotion is happiness.
But usually, he just doesn't have any emotion whatsoever.
Yeah.
If you see the clip of him reacting to the game-winning field goal at the end of this game, he's on the sidelines, and he doesn't even smile. He just sits there, and it doinks in, and then he gets up, and then like 5 seconds after it goes in, he starts dapping people up. But the dude, he's like, they say that Joe Burrow, his like high school basketball coach, told his parents, like, you're lucky that he loves sports, because if he didn't, you might have a Dexter on your hands.
Yeah.
Like, he might actually be a killer. Jaden is kind of the same way during a game. He never gets too excited. The moment's never too big for Jaden, which is crazy to say as a rookie, but he's going to be him, and who he is just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So watch this clip here. It doinks in.
He's just like, okay, cool. We won the game.
Yeah, nice. We won.
Yeah.
Which is, so the Chiefs thing, which is my favorite team plays today, I'm going to kill myself. Oh, nice, we won. I had memes whip up a Commanders version, and the Commanders version is like, in the middle, it's just, this game is really close. Holy shit, Jane Daniels is good. And then at the end, nice, we won.
He's going to do something awesome, and we're going to win this game.
Somehow this happens every week. Again, goes back to the question of, are the Commanders a good team? I still don't know how good we are.
I think Jaden Daniels is a good team.
I think he's a good team. I think Jane Daniels is the best team I've ever rooted for in my life.
He's a really good team. The fact, let's just, the elephant in the room, the doink in, it just was so appropriate for like the where the Bears stand and where the Commanders stand as two franchises that like, it had to be a doink in. But
who doinks to kick in?
I was just sitting there
Kicks
like,
never
I
get
can't
doinked
believe
in.
that you got the doink in. But Jaden Daniels is just, like watching it, when they got the ball back with 4.5 minutes, it's like, he's going to drive them down the field and they're going to win this game with a walk-off field goal. I said it to Jerry. I said it in my head. The 4th and 1 play where he was dead to rights and he finds a way to get that first down. Like, he's just special. I don't know what else to say. Like, he's special, and I think his specialness rubs off on the entire team, where it's like, maybe they're not the most talented group, but when you got a guy like that, your confidence gets to a different level.
Yeah, and you know that, like, the inches that are all around us?
Yeah.
Like, he gets those inches.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels leads the league in inches all around him.
Yeah.
That he acquires.
Yeah.
And there's every time something like this happens, I still have a part of my brain that has to think, if Dan Snyder was still the owner, there's no chance that ball bounces in.
Right.
Bounces in. And something interesting about the Commanders' playoff history. So this is their first playoff win in 19 years, since 2006, January 26.
Against the Bucs,
Against the Bucs. The previous playoff game before that, I believe, was 1999, and it was also against the Bucs. And that was Dan Snyder's first playoff game as owner. We're down 14-13, kicking a field goal at the end of the fourth quarter. Botch the snap. Everything goes to shit. Game over. In this, Josh Harris's first game as owner, the ball bounces off the upright and somehow goes in.
Yeah.
Like, just good vibe. There's been good vibes around this team all season long, where just the smallest shit tends to break our way when we need it the most. And I don't know how else to explain it. I'm so happy getting to watch Jaden Daniels. And also, Terry McLaurin, another great game for him. And our defense, we just stepped up, and now we're like a medium defense. Marshawn Lattimore got cooked.
You gotta get medium plus.
We do get, medium plus. A lot of places don't say medium plus exists. Marshawn Lattimore got cooked in the first half by Mike Evans, but still, I think he was held under 100 yards somehow. But this team there's just something about them that I love watching. I don't know if they're good, but they're great.
No, it's Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Like, the new owner thing, obviously, I want a new owner so bad, basically on all the teams, but Jaden Daniels is that guy. Like, he's the guy that I really do believe in it. Like, in sports, like, if you have a guy like Jaden Daniels, everyone plays a little bit better.
Yeah.
Everyone plays a little bit better than their talent level because of him.
You think you can win.
Right. And you think you're thinking the same thing I was thinking, where it's like they're gonna win this game. They're gonna go down the field and they're gonna win this game.
I felt good about the game from the very first drive that we had. And even on defense when we held them to a field goal right off the bat. But then we got the ball in our hands and we were moving the ball, and it was like, this is exactly how I saw it playing out, which is Todd Bowles is going to try to blitz a lot, and Jaden is a different quarterback than who we saw in week one.
Mm-hmm.
He's more decisive. He's going to be able to take off and run when he has to, but also more importantly, he's going to hit guys in the middle of the field when he has to. And he played a great game. Our running game was virtually non-existent.
Oh, getting
because
stuffed every
Vita
time.
Vea is just a mountain of a human being.
He's one of my favorite players.
He's great. And every time we kept trying to run it up the middle, and Brian Robinson is the last person that you should be asking to run against defense like that, because he hates bouncing to the outside.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson, if he gets the ball, he wants to run at somebody's face and run him over for like 2-3 extra yards and like soften him up over the course of a game. You're not going to soften Vita Vea up.
No.
He's untenderizable.
Yeah. This is the point of the program. I'm very happy for you, PFT. That was an awesome game. The Doink in, incredible. Jaden Daniels, like, he is that guy. This is the part of the program, though, where Max tells you
all the stuff.
Yeah, if Baker Mayfield doesn't fumble a snap, that game is over.
I was going to lead off.
Well, there's one other.
I was going to lead off by saying he didn't throw any interceptions, so I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about right off the jump.
Well, the center also just
Come yuck my
snapped
yum.
the ball way too. You had 3 plays that just were destined. I was really going off its team of destiny. So.
I'd rather be lucky than good.
Yeah, no, there's a voodoo, or what Big Ed said is exactly what I was
right.
thinking.
It's a good voodoo.
Everything just goes the Commanders' way, and trust me, I am the biggest Commanders fan this weekend.
Yeah,
I want the Commanders to win.
Yeah,
I can't have Max. Max, you can't.
Oh,
you
an
can't do
NFC
that.
championship with the Eagles.
Why?
Commanders
Wait, you're
would be
rooting
a
against our
movie.
friend Jared Goff?
Yeah, he sounds like
I'm
he
rooting
is.
for my friend PFT.
No,
wow.
no, but
Interesting.
I can't have Max's stink on this team.
Too bad.
I ban you from cheering for the Commanders.
Would I rather go to Detroit or have the Commanders come to Philly?
I thought you play whoever you play.
Would I
point.
rather
That's a good
go to
point.
Detroit?
You got to be good teams.
You got to beat playoff teams.
Do not care about our friend Jared.
I care about my friend PFT
You don't care about me, and that's fine.
and Dan Quinn,
Yeah,
friend of the program.
yeah. What about Dan Campbell, friend of the program?
I care about him too.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yep.
Friend of the program.
Dan Quinn,
Detroit
PFT.
Don and Superfan.
So,
Friends of the program.
Max, we did get some breaks today. They got some breaks too. It happens on both sides. But also, if they fumble a snap and they don't get a third down conversion, then guess what? You still have to go win the game.
Like
We're good enough to. Here's where we're at. We're not a great team. We're good enough, and Jaden is good enough to take advantage of every miss. If you give him a window, he will find a way to win a game at the end.
Jaden Daniels
Yeah.
is good as fuck. Like
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
really good.
Good
Yeah,
as
the
fuck.
Bucs, the Commanders were better than the Bucs today, and the Bucs. There's 2 things. One, Todd Bowles. I don't know what happens in his brain, but he somehow fucked up the clock on the end of the first half and the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like the end of the first half didn't end up mattering because they scored a touchdown, but that guy's brain just freezes, and then you have, I don't know, the 3rd best quarterback statistically this season. Just talking statistics. So not doing a debate on but like Lamar, Josh, Baker. Those 3, Sam Darnold maybe. So 4. Top 4 statistical season this year. Burrow. Fuck. 5. All right. Fuck. 5. Baker had an incredible year is what I'm trying to say. He threw the ball 18 times. I don't understand what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it was partly because the Commanders did a great job of keeping the ball out of the Bucs' hands. The Commanders had the ball for 35 minutes. But I don't understand how he's not throwing the ball more than that.
Well, Bucky was also running with the ball pretty well.
He was, but Baker's your guy. Like, that's your guy. That's your dog. I know he had some runs too, so there's probably more pass plays called. But Todd Bowles is just, he freezes. I don't know what the fuck goes on with him.
Did you hear his speech or his interview that he gave out of halftime?
No.
Can we play that?
Was it just as uninspiring as I imagined it to be?
He got so confused. I forgot which was left and which was right.
Yeah.
Like, listen to his explanation here.
I mean, this guy's just panicked.
What side was he telling his defense to
Our
watch
left.
out?
Their left.
No, but his left.
Their left.
He said his left.
Our left.
He doesn't know left from right.
He's just. I mean, he was so lost with the timeout situation. Mm-hmm. He had no idea what to do.
What he did at the end of the first half was one of the more puzzling things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Is letting the clock. How many seconds did he waste?
It was like 17 seconds. He's just like, fuck it. Then
Yeah.
we'll call a timeout. I mean, again, this was the Commanders' win, and it was a special night for the Commanders. But Todd Bowles, like, what are you doing, dude? He just can't be in those pressure moments.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, the Bucs. What do we grade their season?
I would say
They did have both their cornerbacks get hurt. Well, I think one was hurt going into the game, then the other one got hurt. So, but you guys also had some injuries on cornerback, right?
so yeah.
Oh no, yeah,
We're a little bit banged up. Marshawn Lattimore's injured, obviously.
yeah.
I hope he's injured because otherwise it's not a very good performance out of a healthy Marshawn Lattimore given what we're paying him. But I would give the Bucs a B. You won your division.
Baker's awesome.
Baker's awesome.
That's really what it is. Like, Baker's awesome.
Yeah.
What?
I think PFT is just the teacher that just gives everybody a B.
B.
No, I gave the Chargers an A minus.
Well,
I gave the Broncos an A.
Recency bias. I'm just
Recency
going.
Yeah, wait. So those are 2 A grades out of 4 that I've given out.
I know. I was just thinking of the last one, the Packers. I mean, the Packers didn't get it. Whatever.
Why are you so angry with me today, Max?
Because he sees.
Really been
Oh,
coming
you're a
at me.
Commanders fan.
Yeah.
That's also not.
gotta unite
coming
this
out
week.
of-
He's in playoff mode.
Yeah, that's
He's
true.
in playoff mode. He's in survival mode.
So yeah, I fucking love the Commanders and I love Jaden Daniels, and this season has been an incredible gift, and I'm so excited about what's coming next. Next week, we can talk about. Let's not talk about next week right now. How about that?
You should not.
I don't wanna
think
thi-
about the Lions
I'm not gonna think
until
about it.
Thursday.
Not gonna think about the Lions.
Like, just enjoy this win. There's no reason to think about the Lions.
We're playing Team X next week.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe their offense is bad. Who knows?
Here's
Nothing
the
to
thing.
lose.
Here's the thing, PFT. Like, you don't think about the Lions. Can I talk a little bit about it real quick?
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it.
I won't.
The Lions are a way better team than the Commanders. Do you know what the Lions don't have? Jaden Daniels. And something happens where, I mean, they did a montage in the game of like crazy moments.
Yeah, and there have been some fucking crazy ones. The Bears game, obviously. The Cowboys game, which wasn't even him. He was on the sidelines in the second half cheering on Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
The Eagles game, when he came back against that really, really good defense that the Eagles have.
Yep.
And just shredded them. The
Saints
Falcons
game.
The Saints game and the Falcons game.
Yeah.
Like, it always comes down to the last minute with this guy. If we can get to the last minute against the Lions, I will be a very, very happy man.
Just get to the last minute.
Yeah.
Shock the world.
Yeah.
Shock the world.
Shock the world. Max is rooting for you.
Thank you, Max. That means a lot.
Let's go commies.
Let's go commies. Left hand up, Max.
Yep.
So Jaden's
I'm rooting for you because I would love to see Eagles Commanders NFC
Me too.
Championship game. That would be numbers.
That would
I mean,
be
you
great.
guys taught me when the Patriots played the Rams. It's not right to root against our friend Jared Goff, so I'm going to root for the Lions. Based off what you guys said to me.
No, you're not.
You have the
You're-
Commanders.
I don't
winning
even
the
remember what you're
Super Bowl.
talking about.
Hank is all over the map with it. You know what your problem is, Hank? You have like conflicting allegiances due to your troll brain and your bet brain. And
The Commanders aren't winning the Super Bowl.
sometimes
That's
they
I'm
fight.
not worried about that bet.
They might not, but Jaden Daniels might.
Yeah.
They might just give him the Lombardi.
Yeah.
It's Lions versus Ravens. And they're like, before we give this to the winner, Jaden Daniels, please come on down.
I would take it. He is the first rookie quarterback to win in the playoffs on the road since 2012. Russell Wilson. Don't ask who he played or where he played. And before that was Mark Sanchez. Before that, Joe Flacco. And then before that, all the way back to 1976, Pat Hayden. So I'm going to say it. I'm going to stamp my grade on the Commander season already. A+.
A++.
A++.
You won a playoff game with a rookie quarterback.
Don't put a grade on it yet. Just
Yeah, it's
still going.
Yeah, it's still going.
But can it get higher?
let's go win this weekend.
Let's do it, Max.
Give him a pump up.
Let's go. Yeah.
Did you see that play at the end where Cansey tried to tackle Jaden from behind and grabbed his towel and then just kept sprinting towards Jaden with Jaden's full towel in his hand?
Yeah, that was. I mean that play was. Cansey had him, and then he just didn't. He was playing flag football with him. He was just running with his towel behind him.
He should have dropped the towel where he tackled.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. And the doink in, I can't believe it. By the way, Zane Gonzalez does have OCD, so don't make fun of him.
He does, but that's his superpower.
Yeah. He fixed his hair 100 times getting ready for the kick.
And it's like the shortest hair ever. So when he kept fixing it, I was like, is there a bug on there?
But he actually does have OCD.
And his compulsion is that he has to split the uprights.
Yeah.
Or at least bounce off the inside
Doink
of one
it.
of them.
He's got to doink them in. I can't believe it doinked in. Did you think for a second it was not good when it hit it? Yeah.
Yes.
I did too. I was like, oh, shit. I needed overtime for basically, I mean, we should talk about it, Hank. That was we all bet it.
We had the PMT. Me and PFT did the parlay that Jaden Daniels, we needed 40 rushing yards from him on that last scramble
He
play.
also had like 25 in the first quarter.
Yeah, on that last scramble play, he got the 40 yards. That was it, last leg. And then he took the centering snap, kneeled it down. So we went from cashing it to losing it. All the 8 WLs I took it, I'm sorry. I feel it worse than you do.
It was not.
So I was rooting for overtime.
Yeah, I was too,
hard.
because I had the over for a lot. I was rooting hard for overtime.
And very clearly, so that everyone can hear it, when people get mad at Big Cat and Hank and they're like, why aren't you happier for PFT? I don't need them to be happy for me. That's not your job to be happy. That's not your team that you're rooting for. Like, I understand, like, okay, it's cool if your friend did something, whatever.
Yeah, I'm happy for you right now.
But if it comes to, like, if you have a bet that's on the line, you're going to root for that bet. And I would root for that bet in your position every single time.
Also, it would be the weirdest thing ever if Hank and I celebrated with PFT like we were like, oh, we did it. You did it.
Yeah.
That would be bizarre.
I always root for the Commander.
Especially when you have your parlay and my nuke on the over, which was brutal.
Well, you know what? We are genuinely super, super upset whenever Max loses something.
That's true. I am always upset for Max.
Actually, you know what? Max has almost gotten to the point where now I would be happy for Max.
No, I was thinking about this.
I said the word almost very clearly.
Yes, I agree with that. Sorry.
Almost.
I missed the almost.
It's close. We're getting dangerously close to me being happy for Max with a win. I
was thinking about that the other day because I was like, if the Eagles go to the Super Bowl, blah, blah. I actually put Hank has money on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I do as well.
Hank's just all over the map.
Yeah, he's got it on the Bills too.
The only team Hank. This is where the troll brain comes. The only team Hank didn't have a future on was the Chargers.
No. I have $100 on the Commanders from like the beginning of the season. When I went on a heater 2 weeks ago, I have $5,000. It's the biggest bet I ever placed on the Eagles.
Okay.
And then I have like some other futures that are like Bills to win the conference and Eagles to win the conference. But like the Eagles' future is the biggest bet I think I've ever made.
Should we all just declare?
And if they just make it to the fucking Super Bowl, I'm cashing out. I'll say that right now.
Should we all declare?
After I bet it, I hated it.
Our gambling allegiances?
Yeah.
Get them out in the open?
I have
anyone but the Chiefs.
What if they play the Chiefs? Will you keep it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have set.
I hate you so much.
I had the Chargers, obviously dead.
Apologies.
No apology because you flip flopped.
I know.
You did flip flop.
I did flip flop.
And I have a Ohio State to win the national title and the Eagles to win the Super Bowl parlay that's like 12-1. That would be a significant hit. And I have not. If anyone has an idea of who I should bet on to win NCAA Basketball Player of the Year, let me know.
Okay.
I would like to place a bet on someone.
Eric Dixon is really underrated.
From where?
From Villanova.
Oh, no way. I would not. No. No. Is he really good?
He's awesome. Leads the country in scoring.
In scoring?
They just beat UConn.
They beat UConn?
Beat UConn.
Wait, he leads the country in scoring?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not going to bet on that guy. But tell me more about how good he is.
He's so good. He is so good. And it's just Villanova's coming on strong too at the right time. We don't have to talk about what happened this weekend.
It's football season, Max.
But they're trending in the right direction. So like really look.
What's his
Eric
name?
Dixon from Villanova.
And he could be the best. He could like the Heisman for college basketball.
Yes.
How's that voted on?
It's the best player in the country, and he is the best player. I
don't think I'm going to bet on that, but I would like an update every show on how he's doing, if he's doing well.
I also have Celtics, Barcelona, and Eagles future.
National
So I'm just going to get that out there. I just want to get that on there.
All right, fine. We'll empty the clip.
Okay, I've got the Buffalo Bills.
Also Lions and Hideki Matsuyama to win the match.
What?
I got the Buffalo Bills, Lamar Jackson, and then Manchester United to be relegated. But that money goes to Chief, which could be worth 10 grand, and then the Washington Capitals to win the Stanley Cup.
I have just currently the Eagles and the Ohio State Buckeyes both to win, parlayed. I have Utah to win the national championship this year.
In what sport?
Football.
Okay.
You don't know. They haven't crowned one yet.
I've got Oregon.
Still pending.
You never know.
Still pending. And then I have UConn in basketball, 19-1. That's just a respect.
Respect.
I won it the last 2 years. I had to do it again.
Here's a fun stat real quick. This is from OptaStats. In NFL history, there have been 3 instances of a team having 0 turnovers and 0 punts in a game behind a rookie starting quarterback.
Whoa.
All 3 were by Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Week 2, Week 3, and tonight.
Damn.
That's fucking insane.
That is insane.
I love this guy.
That is insane.
I love him so much.
Max, what were you gonna say?
He's so good.
He turned it over on downs twice.
Oh.
That doesn't count. It's not a quarterback
And
turnover.
mention the Baker fumble.
Well, I didn't say that has nothing to do with that stat.
No. You're specifically talking about this stat.
Correct.
Okay, well, hey, Max, how about this? If we had kicked field goals every time on 4th down, then that Baker fumble doesn't really mean anything.
But you didn't, and then you failed.
Yeah, but you're taking away turnovers for the Bucs, but not taking away turnovers for the Commanders.
They were just unforced. They were just unforced errors.
We won the game.
No, the Commanders deserve to win that game. All I wanted to say was that the Commanders have like
Voodoo.
some weird voodoo going on.
They do.
Yeah.
That like things break their way at the end of games, which
do.
is good.
Big time.
Like
Yeah.
that isn't like an insult to the Commanders. That is, I would love a team for that to be my team.
Mm-hmm. No,
That's a good thing.
You're right that we do have that, and Adam Peters gets a lot of credit too for the just complete roster turnaround that's happened. Just all new guys. Dan Quinn's done a great job. I'm the happiest I can remember being as a football fan, maybe ever. Maybe ever. If we're talking about arrows, if we're doing the arrow game.
This has got to be better than RG3 now.
Yeah, I mean the wild card game that year.
Yeah, it was as disastrous
knee
as it
exploded.
could. Yeah, right. So yeah, this was like the final.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels has to. Well, actually, holy shit! That fucking low hit on Jaden Daniels. That looked bad.
Che and I agreed to turn injuries off at the start of this game, and that one. This is now 2 games, not 2 games in a row, because the Falcons game and then this one where his knee bends, and you're like, "Fuck, this is it," and then he just stands up.
Yeah,
he's just like not injured. But yeah, this is way better than 2005 because we had Mark Brunell, who was like 46 years old, and that's the only other playoff win that I can remember.
Yeah,
except for the Super Bowl, I remember that. 91.
I mean, it was an incredible game. Jaden Daniels, he's special. Do you guys want to do? Let's do 2 more ads. Then we want to try to figure out who's going to win Vikings, Rams, and also we'll talk a little Texas, Ohio State because that happened on Friday night.
Yep. Before we get back to these games, they're brought to you by our great friends over at Kevin's Natural Foods. Kevin's Natural Foods. They're delicious. I had some on Friday. I had their burrito bowl, their chicken burrito bowl. The chicken was cooked sous vide, and then you put it in the microwave to heat it up, and it tastes like delicious restaurant chicken, like amazing chicken. I'm not exaggerating. Here's what happened on Friday, actually. Ordered a sandwich. Sandwich got dropped off at the wrong house in my neighborhood. I went out in the snow, walking around for about 20 minutes looking for my sandwich. Some random house just acquired my sandwich, so I hope you enjoyed it. I came back and I was like, oh, I've got this Kevin's Natural Foods right here in the freezer. Took it out. About 4 minutes later, I was eating a world-class meal. The chicken burrito bowl is legit. If you haven't tried Kevin's Natural Foods, you're missing out. If you want a delicious protein-packed meal that's on the table in 5 minutes, Kevin's Natural Foods heat and serve entrees are perfect. They're clean, nutritious meals, and they taste like something you get in a restaurant. Kevin's entrees include fully cooked beef or chicken and incredible sauces, so all you need to do is heat and eat. It's hard to believe something this tasty and healthy can be ready this fast. Skip the greasy takeout. Grab Kevin's Natural Foods instead. It's the perfect mealtime hack, and it is faster than takeout, too. Find Kevin's in the refrigerated section at your local grocery store. Again, try that chicken burrito bowl. You guys will not regret it. It is delicious.
We're also brought to you by Tax Act.
Yeah.
There's been a long documented history of me having issues with my taxes. It used to stress me out. I didn't know what was going on. That was before I started using TaxAct, and ever since I started using TaxAct, everything has gone super smoothly. TaxAct knows no one likes doing their taxes, so TaxAct has easy-to-use filing software that helps you get them over with. TaxAct also has Expert Assist with live tax experts who can answer any tax questions that come up so you can get your taxes over with. With Expert Assist, 100% of TaxAct's experts are credentialed, defined as being a CPA, EA, or tax attorney and US-based. 100% accuracy guarantee. You can count on TaxAct software to be 100% correct, or you get $100,000. Max refund guarantee, just like it sounds. TaxAct has a max refund guarantee that guarantees you the maximum refund when you file. Start filing your taxes today. It's that time season. Go to taxact.com to start filing again. We all know my issues with doing my taxes. Thanks to taxact.com, they've been solved. So go to taxact.com and start filing your taxes today.
Who do we think is going to win Monday Night Football? I don't know. Anyone got an idea? I do think it's the fact they're playing in Arizona is weird. Go ahead.
I think the Vikings should win, but I also think that Sean McVay. And that's the end of that sentence.
And Sam Darnold, I'm a little nervous.
I just think Sean McVay, I would not bet against him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
With all this, the obviously super tragic stuff going on in LA, do you think it is more Team of Destiny vibes or like distraction vibes that's going to affect them negatively?
Well, PFT said it last week when he was like, why didn't the Rams try to win that game to get a better seed? And he was like, what's up with that? And Sean McVay's done that before. I think that's the year they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I feel like he knows he's got a good team.
Yeah, I think he knows something. He knows something because on paper, you should have tried to win that game. Windhorse. Why did he do that?
Why did he do that?
Why did he feel so confident rolling Jimmy Garoppolo out there?
Mm-hmm.
It's because he knew either one, that resting his guys was more important than whoever they played.
Yeah.
Or because he sees some weird voodoo matchup.
Yeah, I have no idea with this game. I feel like whatever side I'm going to bet is going to be wrong. But I also have to root against the Rams.
But he also didn't know who he would be playing in that opening game. It could have been the Lions.
Right.
Or maybe he just knew that the Lions were going to roll the Vikings.
Right.
Who knows? But I'm sure I'll have some degree of super confidence in whatever I choose to gamble on tomorrow night.
Oh, for sure.
Time. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be like, fuck yeah, I'm right. I just can't. I can't get that Sam Darnold. It is stupid. I can't get the Week 18. And that was also just the Lions' great defensive game plan. But what if the Rams have a great defensive game plan?
Well, they did with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, they beat him already this year.
Yeah, it was grab his face mask when the ref's not.
Yeah, that's true. No, but that was a game that I don't think Sam Darnold played very well against the Rams when they played earlier this season. Is that not? Am I imagining that? I just remember that was a game that Puka was coming back, and it was like, oh shit, is he going to start? Oh yeah, he is going to start. And he's
going to have 106 yards.
Yeah, and he's going to be awesome. He's going to catch every single ball. Yes, Sam Darnold, he was okay in that game. He wasn't bad.
So Matt Stafford is very good against the blitz. He's one of the best quarterbacks against the blitz.
That's what I remembered, yeah.
But also we can agree that not all pressures are created equally.
But he also just had a week off.
He can't really move that well.
Maybe he's healthy again.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe he spent the week off at Aloe. He's feeling good.
Maybe a little Daniel Jones. Two-headed monster.
with Sam Darnold?
Yeah, mix him in there.
Yeah.
They'll never see it coming.
Room.
Yeah,
it's a great room.
That's a great room.
If we're going off rooms,
I need at least 10 minutes on the broadcast talking about that room.
That room is a 1 seed.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The Ohio State Buckeyes beat the Texas Longhorns on Friday night. Was a great game. So much for the people saying that the college football playoff expanded playoffs suck. They basically they had us in the first half. Mm-hmm. The first round looked bad.
Ratings were bad. For
who the fuck cares? I don't.
Says something.
Not to me. I mean, I
heard some people saying that they're dragging the season out too long. I'm fine with dragging the football season's longer.
I do think college football should end a little bit earlier, just naturally. Like I think it's weird the national championship is going to happen after the divisional round of the NFL.
Yeah.
But I've never watched a playoff game or any game and enjoyed the hell out of it, and then afterwards been like, damn, the ratings were bad. Maybe I didn't like it.
Sure, ratings don't matter.
I mean, they just don't matter to my enjoyment of the game.
No.
Like, I enjoyed the hell out of that game. I thought it was a great game. Ohio State, it was like Will Howard was awesome in that first drive, and then he was not. And they were like, there was that moment where you're like, shit, is Ohio State gonna like fuck this up? Are they gonna Ryan Day it up? That screen pass at the end of the half, I still don't know how that happened. I don't know how you blitz in that situation if you're Texas. And then it all came down to the first and goal series that Sark play calling has been questioned over and over.
Yeah, where they ran the toss play out to the left, where they went backwards about 4 yards. I don't know why you do that. Don't really get it. We should say, though, Caleb Downs made a great play on it.
Caleb Downs was a heat-seeking missile on that play.
Caleb Downs has been doing that all season long. He takes the perfect angle every single time. He's a great player. So, yeah, a great player made a great play on a bad play call.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Texas had a chance going at the end. They just made more plays. Texas, the better team won. Jeremiah Smith was not really part of it. He was
no, they shut him down,
which is crazy to say. Like, just throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith every single time, because you probably could do that. But Texas, I don't know if Texas took him out of the game.
No, Texas defense balled out,
and Ohio State does have other good wide receivers.
Yeah,
and they made plays.
Yeah, no, Texas defense was phenomenal in that game. Outside of the screen pass at the end of the first half, which was horrific. I said it before the game. I'm over the Quinn Ewers experiment. No offense to him. He's like. It's a perspective thing, because I do think Quinn Ewers had a great college career. He's taken Texas to the semifinal in back-to-back years, which if you said that to a Texas fan 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you'd be like, fuck, sign me up. I also think Texas does this weird thing where, like, they're comparing everyone to college Vince Young, and you can't really get better than college Vince Young. So it's like, if that's the standard, you're going to be disappointed forever in the quarterbacks you have. But I just
even Colt McCoy never reached college Vince Young,
right?
And so he was a great quarterback.
It's an impossible standard. Quinn Ewers is a good quarterback. I just don't know if he's like that extra step of getting you. Again, we're talking about perspective here. Like, it's talking about getting you to the national championship, which he's a really good quarterback. I just don't know if he's. I wonder how good Arch Manning's going to be. That's kind of what I'm getting at. If Arch Manning is good next year, will Sark look back and be like, yeah, he probably fucked that up?
I think this was important for Sark to show Quinn Ewers that he had his back.
Yeah, I understand
because
that.
Everybody was saying put in Arch, and I was saying it too. Like, if you're looking for a couple yards, you have a quarterback that can move, and also he's definitely a threat to pass, but like much more capable of picking up a couple yards in a running game than Quinn would be. I don't know why you wouldn't put him in, but I think that Sark had some weird like blood oath with Quinn Ewers. It's like, you're my guy. I'm not. We're bringing Arch in. Probably when they first signed Arch.
Yeah.
He was like, Quinn, I want to let you know, I want to give you my word that he's not coming here to take your job. And we're not going to play into any of that. There's going to be a lot of media talk. The fans are going to say, we want Arch. This is you. This is me talking to you, and I give you my word. You're my guy.
Yeah.
I think this was Sark like fulfilling on that when he did have something that he could have done that probably would have given him a slightly better chance to win.
Cooler than that is winning a semifinal game and going to the national championship.
Also correct.
Yeah. Also, I'm very happy for Jack Sawyer, because he's obviously been the butt of a lot of jokes, going 0-4 against Michigan, the whole flag thing. He has been phenomenal in these playoffs. He's stepped it up a level in that it was like the slowest fumble return ever, but it was also like, it actually was kind of cool how slow it was.
He was gassed after about 15 yards.
Yeah, because you like, Ohio State fans got to celebrate for about 17 minutes as he ran down the field.
For you, did you like see it in the moment and think to yourself, this is an all-time Ohio State highlight? Like, yeah. It's perfect for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew this. He's from Columbus.
Yeah. And Jack Sawyer, he is. And Jack Sawyer was not the reason why they lost to Michigan. He actually made the play that should have been like the crowning moment for him to beat Michigan with that interception. So Ohio State looks awesome. That was a great, great game. And I do think that, like, so the college football expanded playoff, the people who are upset about it, and I get it, the first round did suck. There's a chance, I don't know what it would have totally worked out, because they would have judged things differently in a 4-team playoff, but there's a chance that Notre Dame and Ohio State wouldn't even been in the playoff in a 4-team playoff. There's a chance, because they could have gone Oregon in, Texas in, Georgia in,
Yeah.
and then maybe Penn State. Although Ohio State probably would have jumped. I don't know how
Ohio
they
State would have jumped the loser of the SEC championship game
or the Big Ten. So it might have been both teams. But
if Texas had lost that game like they did, then I think Ohio State maybe would have jumped.
But more than anything, like I know that the argument. Yeah, what was the final rankings? So Notre Dame would have been 3, Texas would have been 4, Penn State 5, Ohio State 6. So according to the last rankings, Ohio State wouldn't have been in these playoffs.
Wait, this was AP. I didn't.
Okay.
Let me
pull up the.
But that also means that, 2 of the teams in the top 4 got beaten by those teams that were like, maybe they get in, maybe they wouldn't.
I also think it's just so funny because I understand there's this is the college football playoff ranking. Yeah. So the actual college football rankings, and again, I don't know how they would have done it with I think they took a little bit off of the championship games this year because of a 12 team and you knew everyone was going to get in. But if you had done a 14 playoff and you used the rankings that they used, it would have been Oregon, Georgia, Texas, and Penn State. So Notre Dame and Ohio State would have been outside. That's your championship game. I don't know why. I understand people love the college football regular season and they like every game mattering and they like a Michigan ending Ohio State season. What other sport? Like Ohio State got hot at the right time. That's what happens in sports.
I would never understand somebody who's a fan of the sport being upset that the sport uses a tournament at the end of the season to pick who the winner is.
To play more games to find the best team.
Yeah, I'm okay with that on the record.
Yeah. So I liked starting with the Arizona State Texas game. I know the Rose Bowl was a blowout, but it was a fun game to watch because it was like such an incredible game that Ohio State played. I feel like we've had 4 really good playoff games.
We have, and
Notre Dame Georgia was good.
Yeah, and in the championship, 5. Ohio State they seem like they're the better team, right? Would you agree?
Yes,
they seem to be the better team.
They are the better team.
Ohio State should beat Notre Dame unless Ryan Day does the weird Ryan Day thing that he did against Michigan. Mm-hmm. And if there's a coach who's capable of bringing that out of Ryan Day, I think it might be Lou Holtz. To get him back into that mindset that he had where it's like we have to just outman him because he has something to prove.
Right.
He's got a fixation with Lou Holtz that he needs to figure out how to set aside going into this game.
Yeah.
And also, Marcus Freeman is a great coach too.
I think Notre Dame, they have to play like not a perfect game, but they can't make mistakes because Ohio State is just, and I'm not saying this as like don't play the game. Ohio State has more talent. Like they have the most talented roster in college football. I don't think even Notre Dame fans would disagree with that. Notre Dame though, they're just a tough ass team. What's their offensive line say? 4 quarters of fuck you football.
Yeah, I love that.
Like they have a mentality and they don't kill themselves that if they keep this game close and, Ohio State, has a little pucker of their asshole, they could absolutely win this game.
And, I mean, Texas got a little bit of push at times on that defensive line. Notre Dame's got a great offensive line.
Texas was, I know it's the 28-14 was the final score. Texas was, they scored that touchdown. We're going into overtime probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was as close as a 28-14 game could be. Mm-hmm. Very excited, though. We're going to have Booger on Wednesday's show to break down NFL playoffs and the national championship, so maybe he'll give us a pick. Should we do Who's Back of the Week?
Let's do it.
Let's do Who's Back of the Week. It is brought to you by our friends at Uber Eats. Uber Eats, whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food, no matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings. Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week all season long. Uber Eats, the official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now for game day. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Uber Eats. Who's Back of the Week? Rowback question. Hank, RHOBACK.com. Promo code TAKE. 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts. Rowback.com. Promo code TAKE. Who's your Who's Back of the Week?
My Who's Back of the Week are the New England Patriots.
You took mine.
Yeah, so it's been a long few years. I've learned what it's like to be a loser franchise and not be excited on Sundays and kind of like expect losing. And I learned a lot about the draft.
You learned a lot about the draft.
I wasn't used to that because we were winning and stuff. And
what's the most important thing you learned about the draft?
That you can't take the 3 best players. Like players get drafted, then you have to reassess.
You have to wait. Yeah.
That was the big lesson I learned
I
last
think
year.
I think the big lesson you learned last year was that when you trade your pick, you have to actually give it up.
Yeah.
Because that was the whole when you were like, oh, we'll get the number 1 pick, but we're not going to give up the 3 pick.
Yeah, and I know a lot of fans of the show, they always get mad, like, oh, you just win, and it's so annoying. And it's like, now, I've been in the basement. I've dealt with what a lot of people that listen to the show and you guys have dealt with for a long time. But they signed Mike Vrabel, and they're back. They're on the path. The path to glory is back.
Question.
Yeah.
By the way, congrats to our good friend Mike Vrabel. Do you have anything to say to Memes, who has gone on a memes path
rampage
against Mike Vrabel?
No, I mean, I think that's the beauty of football and sports is like Memes, can do his little trolling online and say these things on X.com on the Everything app, but like we'll see you on the field next year, and we'll see you on the field for the next 20 years.
Okay,
and we'll let the talking play itself out there.
What about this take? And I'm going to say this from an anonymous person online. Mike Vrabel is proof that one smart clock management moment in a nationally televised game buys you 5 to 10 years of NFL media thinking you're a great coach.
Memes memed that.
That was Memes.
Memes?
Also in this
hurt people.
Also in this post, Memes refers. I think he's referring to me as being NFL media.
Memes?
You're part of the NFL media that highlights his stuff and gaslights it.
Okay. So Memes, you're not mad.
No, it's whatever, man. There's
So we were in this together. Like we suffered through this season together, and it's like if you made it out of the trenches, I'd be happy for you. I would hope that you'd be happy for me.
No.
Damn.
I don't want you out of the trenches. I want you in the trenches. And I want Mike Vrabel to suck. If you're listening to this, Mike Vrabel, I want you to suck.
Memes is equally not mad about this as Max was about the play call.
Yeah. If you're listening to this, Rex Ryan, you're not going to get the job.
You're not getting the job.
Yeah. So Memes, you're not bothered. You just started memesing.
I'm extremely bothered. Derrick Henry's not walking through that door, though.
Derrick what?
Prime Derrick Henry is not walking.
He's
through
saying
the
Mike
Patriots
Vrabel's
door.
a Derrick Henry merchant.
Yeah,
and a Ryan Tannehill merchant.
Oh,
Guy was
yes.
a stud. Can sling it.
He's a system coach.
But no, it's been great. Will and Taylor busting with the boys guys. They obviously played for him. They had a lot of glowing things to say about him. What people can expect. Players are going to get called out, expected to play at a high standard, and Vrabel expects everyone to meet those standards, and he's going to right this ship and get us back where we need to be.
He's going to expect you to meet a certain standard too.
That's fine. That's great. I mean, Missoula's the same way. Like that's championship mentality. That's what he should
You're
be.
about to meet that standard.
Whatever he needs, whatever coach, whatever you need, I'm here for you.
Okay. Congrats.
I'm excited for you, Hank.
Yeah.
Great hire.
Who's your who's back?
My who's back of the week is the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh.
Because they were threatening to leave town.
Oh.
They were going to abandon Philly after all they've done for Philly. And the city of Philadelphia just came to an agreement to keep him around for a while. So congrats, Max.
They really suck.
Oh, no.
Do you want him gone?
No, they're staying in South Philly. They weren't going to Jersey. They were going to go to Center City, Philadelphia, but now it's good because we're keeping all the stadiums right next to each other.
Yeah, that's I love that about any city that does that, where the stadiums are right across the street
the
from
sports
each other.
district.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it just makes for a great tailgate scene. There's the big Xfinity Live mega bar in the middle of it. It's fun, but just I hear the word Sixers, and they're so bad. Like they may not even make the play-in game. Bad.
But they had 10 wins by Christmas.
Yeah, no, that did not spark anything, and Joel Embiid just never plays. Damn. They lost to the Magic today.
You made that whole video on Christmas.
That was fun. I'll always have that.
You will always have
I'll always
Christmas.
have that.
That was huge.
Yeah, I mean, they lost 3 out of their past 4. I mean, the Magic are a winning team, but the Pelicans stink. The Suns stink.
But aren't you happy? Like, that's a major win. They're not
Beat the
leaving.
Wizards.
They're not leaving town. Good.
Yeah, no,
I'm glad.
that's
I'm
good.
Cooper Flag.
At this point, I want them to get a top 6 pick so we have our pick next year.
Yeah. Cooper Flag.
My other who's back of the week is LeBron.
Oh.
He's back in the news. Have you heard about LeBron?
I've seen it. I still don't understand it.
All right, so LeBron was dancing to a Kendrick Lamar song like a month ago, and then Drake put out a song called Fighting Irish, and Drake has a tattoo of LeBron on his arm. This is normal stuff. Has a tattoo of LeBron on his arm from when LeBron was a high schooler.
Oh.
When he was playing on a team that was called the Irish.
Okay.
And in that, he seems to throw some shots at LeBron, being like, I know things about you. You shouldn't have been dancing to that song that called me a pedophile.
Okay.
Now, DJ Academics went live and said that he is familiar with the accusations and that Drake does have some info about LeBron that he could put out. And now LeBron is probably very, very afraid. Credit to LeBron. He's done of being like the most famous person in the world for the last 20 years. He's done a great job of not having any major, huge scandals about him that have gotten brought to light until very recently. So I don't know what's going to happen. Do you think Drake has, like, is he just lashing out because he got beat so bad? Has he handled getting defeated on a public stage worse than anyone else after like threatening to sue his own record label?
Yeah. I will say if they were like best friends, which if he's got a tattoo of them, that would suck a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're best friends.
I would agree that LeBron, if he was friends with Drake, should not have done that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know their relationship.
Hank, what are your thoughts?
I think both. I mean, I think it's like star athletes. It's like I think anyone that holds them to a higher standard is crazy because there's been a million examples of like athletes being somewhat scumbags and not the most loyal guys. So it's not like shocking. I'll never be shocked when you hear stuff like that. It's like, yeah, no shit. That's a lot of athletes are like that. It's like Drake did. It's ugly. It's like LeBron was dancing and now Drake's outing him, and it's like, everyone's get hurt people.
Hurt people.
And you're a Drake guy.
I'm not a Drake guy or a LeBron guy, so I don't really give a fuck. They can both take each other down for all I care.
This is one of those things that I was aware that was happening, but I didn't really. There's football on, so I didn't really dig deep into it. But I'm sure there's more that I'm gonna learn.
To me, it seems like Drake is just trying to get it.
Well, LeBron also took that leave of absence like a month ago. That was my like. Well, that kind of makes that make a little.
That
more
lines
sense.
up.
Yeah,
he was up in Canada banging whores.
That's Academics. I mean, Academics just said everything.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's all been said.
Yeah, but it's obviously not from the official source. But
yeah,
I also think that Drake is just desperate to get a win anywhere.
Yeah,
anywhere he can find one.
I don't think it's a win though. It's just like I'm a scumbag. I'm friends with a scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a win?
Yeah, he's pressing the button, blowing everybody up.
Yeah.
Everyone's coming down with me.
Yeah, the Dan Sider.
Good guy.
Yeah. All right, my Who's Back of the Week is overreacting to one thing and then trying to make changes because there's a report that the NFL might change the the playoff format where division winners get an automatic entry into the playoffs, but not necessarily home field in the first round.
I think divisions should mean something.
I agree.
I think
this would suck.
There's divisions for a reason.
It's also like, yeah, this year was weird, and it's crazy that the Vikings and the Lions were as good as they were. That Week 18 game was awesome. It wouldn't have. I guess it would have meant something in terms of a bye, but they both would have gotten a home playoff game. Divisions in the NFL is what makes the NFL great.
Yeah.
Like your division rivals and winning your division should mean a lot.
It also leads to regional styles of football.
Correct.
Amongst the divisions, which is cool.
Yeah.
To like have an identity for your division.
Like the NBA has divisions. They don't even fucking care.
No.
At all. They're like, doesn't matter whatsoever. So it's like, I don't know. That's the unique, like, don't overreact to 1 year. And guess what? Like, it sucks because the Vikings had a really good year. Win your division.
They were probably looking
beat the Lions
at the criticisms of the college football playoff. And they're like, yeah, we need to do that too.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I mean, sometimes you're going to have a good wild card team and you're going to have a below average division winner.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
If they're demanding to do this, I could meet them a quarter way there and say you have to win 9 games to get a home playoff game. But I'm not going to go farther than that.
I like that. Above 500.
But then also people then bring up the Beastquake.
Yeah.
Beastquake was a 7-9 Seahawks team. Like, that was pretty fucking awesome.
Like, I'm okay with it because if you go on the road and you lose to a 7-9 team in the playoffs, you should have beaten that team.
Right, and it also win your division.
Yeah.
Like that's the best part of NFL football is like you play your division 6 times. You hate those teams; they're your rivals. Those games should mean more than all the other games.
Yep.
So yeah, don't do that, NFL. I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either.
Roger Goodell's kind of the anti Adam Silver. I don't feel like he listens to us.
No, I think we're good. I mean, unless something really weird happened. If there was an instance where a really shitty division winner, what's the worst possible record you could have?
I think I was reading a thread on it last night. I think someone technically could win a division 4-13.
Yeah, look at the AFC South. It's probably.
I mean, they just won a playoff game.
No, I'm saying like in the past, though, I feel like
Texans.
there's been some bad AFC South teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think 4-13 technically.
What, you're Mike Vrabel? Blake Bortles? Which team are you talking about?
Oh no.
I'll look it up. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm
Oh,
not.
no.
It's
Oh,
not.
no.
It's not. It's not
PFT
the
might have gotten you
Titans.
there.
It might be Bortles.
No. I mean, 7-9 is
Worst
the
NFL.
the Panthers. I think Ron Rivera they won 7-9. The Panthers won a division once.
Oh, Ron Rivera did it twice. He did it in
Yeah.
DC too.
Yeah.
Heineke.
Also, shout out NFC Beast. Only division that has 2 teams still available.
There we
That's
go.
just
NFC
not.
Beast.
That's just not true.
What?
That's just not true.
Well, 2 teams that have already advanced.
Yep. Good point, Max.
Switch it up on it.
Yep.
It is kind of cool in the AFC that every division's got it's just the division champs.
That is cool.
left.
I also like having Max as my buddy and my friend right now, so I appreciate it, Max.
Yeah.
I can tell you really mean all this stuff from your heart.
You definitely mean it.
I'm thinking.
What if the Vikings are in the NFC North or not?
Yeah, if the Rams win tomorrow, then that's true.
Yeah, that would be true.
So yes, as of right now, I was correct.
Yeah.
2017 Titans that led to Mike Mularkey's firing.
What did they win the division at?
9-7.
Oh, so that's not even the
Yeah.
7
Needed
and 9s.
overtime to beat 0-16 Cleveland.
It would be,
That's not even the 7-9s we've been saying.
yeah, it'd be the
2016 Houston Texans. So yeah, I wasn't just making shit up.
What was their record?
They were 9-7.
So it's
still
not
above 500.
Still.
So
better
far,
than
we
the-
have 2 Ron Rivera teams, and then
and the Pete
Beastquake.
Carroll team. Yeah.
And the number 1 on this list is the 2020 Washington Commanders or Washington, whatever the fuck
That was a
it
big time NFC beast move by Doug Peterson in that game. Get us into the playoffs. Put Nate Sudfeld up.
Yeah. All right. Good show, boys. Great show. It's great talking some playoff football. Congrats, PFT.
Thank you.
Congrats, Max. Let's finish with numbers. We got Jack Pocket. Did you know you can get scratch off tickets with Jack Pocket lottery app? That's right. You can order scratch off tickets in states like Texas, Ohio, Massachusetts, Arizona, and other select states. Don't forget, Jack Pocket also lets you order Powerball and Mega Millions tickets right on your phone. Download Jack Pocket. New customers get your first ticket free with code PMT. That's code PMT only on Jack Pocket. Okay, numbers.
5.
I was gonna
38.
pick 5.
11.
Pug.
94 Pug.
Oh, I'm going to take 89 from the chat. Wow, Pug disrespecting the chat.
26.
Wait, what'd you take?
That was
Bud?
Jack.
I took 89. I took 94. 94.
99.
I mean, memes, would it really count if you won with Pug's number?
Yes. What do you mean?
Oh, that's interesting. So,
It's
would
not
it
his
count
number.
if...
he didn't claim the
No,
number.
but your whole argument is
won.
PFT won with your number.
I guessed it.
I don't see the difference. Got you there. Hank, are you going to participate?
I said 38. I'll say it again.
Oh, 30. 46.
Love you guys.